injury news. Giants pass rusher Kayvon Thibodeau has suffered a fractured scapula bone in his wrist and had surgery to repair it today, according to NFL Network. He's considered week to week.
It's time.
You know what time it is?
Game for Tuscaloosa's longest-running sports show.
The biggest goal of our team,
especially in the first half,
we at Bama, we're trying to be the best. Always is to win a national championship.
Something cool to look back on.
We don't want to waste a failure.
You're inside the game.
John Mechie on the ground.
Appreciate your interest in the game.
On your home for Alabama sports.
Alabama wins.
Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. Powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota. Now, here's your award-winning host, Ryan Fowler.
And a big good afternoon to you. Welcome into the game. T-Town Tide at 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports. We're going to have a lot of fun today. We're going to step back. We're going to finish a Southern Ale House score prediction day. And I know we took, about 20 calls yesterday. So we'll take more calls today if you want to jump in. But, hey, we won't limit you. We're discussing, where are you? Where are you on a Wednesday? Have we moved beyond Vanderbilt? No, we've not moved beyond Vanderbilt. No. We're focused on South Carolina. This kind of reminds me of the Georgia week, right, where we could not get Georgia out of our mind. I think that's a song, but Georgia on our mind. We couldn't get those guys away, and maybe that had something to do with it. I was in the building just a couple of hours ago. We had some media availability with the coaches, and I think they're saying a lot of the right things, but I think you have seen a little different response. It's almost like you, as a guy that goes and takes a final, and let's say that you go midterm final, go take an exam, and you struggle, right? You're a little bit focused. You're a little bit more attentive to the things that maybe your coaches or film study or wherever that may be. Not saying that they were not focused. I'm just saying that you probably enhanced that a little bit this week. So we look at Alabama, South Carolina, 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock, we'll see if this Alabama team responds the way that we think that it will. We will take scores early. We've moved some guests around. We'll talk with Josh from College Football Nerds. He will be with us coming up at 3 o'clock. That is always an anticipated segment on this program. The first hour, we will take phone calls early. So if you did not get in yesterday on a Southern Ale House score prediction day, your chance to get in right now at 205-342-9904. And I'm looking at the call board. There's actually one line available, two lines available, actually, as we normally don't open up phone calls this early. But we're going to do a Southern Ale House score prediction day. We're going to give away nice Southern Ale House gift card. You can use it at either location, Dockside or the original location. We'll put a Reds car wash in there. We'll put a 2025 calendar featuring Nick Saban and the mini prints. You can find that. DanielMooreArt.com, DanielMooreArt.com. And we're also going to include a Reds car wash. Reds car wash right there on McFarland Boulevard. If you're looking at the original Southern Ale House location, if you're looking at the front door to be the left to that, Reds Car Wash doing a great job. So we'll take some score predictions. We'll also give away a dozen red roses, courtesy of Pat's Florist in 1010 Queen City Avenue, 1010 Queen City Avenue. So we'll dive right into it. We'll take phone calls coming up here in just a couple of seconds. Tiebreaker yesterday was Jalen Milroe passing yards. Jalen Milroe passing yards. So we'll take those and we'll jump right into it, as we're always powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota, TuscaloosaToyota.com, 3325 Scotland Boulevard, and online at TuscaloosaToyota.com. And let's go right to those phone calls, and we go to Greg in Athens, Alabama. Greg, good afternoon. You're in the game. I hope all is well.
Hey, Ryan, thank you for taking my call. I hope all is well with you.
Oh, yeah, always well. I mean, I feel like a therapist this week in Tuscaloosa, but other than that, I'm okay.
Well, no one can fault you for answering the call from time to time. And, it's a testament to the legacy and the history of Alabama football that a once-in-a-40-year event has occurred with, Vanderbilt beating Alabama. But, I saw an Auburn tag today, and it said kick six on it. And, when Alabama loses, it's a big deal. Now, one of the callers, after I spoke with you on Monday, said that they do not accept this loss, and that's kind of a inane statement to make, because we, as fans, we have to accept everything that happens. It's factual. The fact that they lost is real. We don't have to like it, but we have to accept it. And I think, after a couple of days of people's anguish and soul searching, people are starting to feel better and are anxious to see the product that will be on display this Saturday in Tuscaloosa.
Okay, so you think Alabama's going to respond in a positive way, and who knows? We may look back at this Vanderbilt, and it could never be a good thing, but you can take this negative thing and turn it into a positive. And I think that's what you're going to see. We'll know a lot more about this football team. How do they respond? How do they respond? Do they have a different intensity? Shane Beamer, you got to come to Tuscaloosa. If you're asking me if I'm a betting guy, I think Alabama's going to lay a whipping on them.
Well, I agree, Ryan. And, whenever you face adversity in life, there's only two ways that it goes. Either you learn from that adversity and you adapt and make changes so that when you are challenged again, there is a positive outcome, or you fail. And I just don't think that this team is set up for failure. And, there are a lot of ways this could have gone after a loss, but, we don't have players and coaches calling each other out like little brother is down the state.
Yeah, I think that's a fair comment. Like I said, I do think, and I know I've said it multiple times, this is the new college football. And if you can't handle an L, and I'm not saying that we should ever lose to Vanderbilt, okay? It's really unacceptable, unexcusable. But if you can't deal with it, I probably would advise people, not you, I'd advise you not to be a football fan. Because this is going to happen. Yeah. It's going to happen multiple times. And it may happen 2 or 3 more times here in Tuscaloosa. That's just where we are in the world of college football. I mean, we have socialism applied to the world of college football. Bring everybody up, bring the good teams down.
Yeah, we have. We've taken that line out of Marx.
Well, I went to med school. I went to med school for 15 years. It doesn't matter. Going to make you middle class. Perfect. I went to law school. We're gonna make you middle class. I don't want to go work. I don't want to get up. I don't want to get out of bed. You're middle class.
Well, with the current NIL and transfer portal the way it is, this is the new reality. And, I think Vanderbilt's probably going to make some other people upset as their season unfolds. And it is. It's, we coaches have less power now in this equation they ever have, Brian. And we saw it ourselves when someone wants more playing time and they're not getting it regardless of the reasons. They have the option of picking up their tent and their ball and going somewhere else. And that's going to happen everywhere. And so, if you finish 10-2 and get in the playoffs, then man, that's the lottery today. The paradigm has changed or shifted. And so, thinking about being 12-0 or 15 or 16-0 isn't the goal anymore. It's can you win a championship in spite of the adversity you face?
Yeah. And I want to see something. I know this is not really a good barometer. Other teams' problems don't make our problems okay. But Texas has got a schedule, and you look at Texas, okay? They've got Oklahoma this week, okay? Then they play Georgia at home, okay? So you got Oklahoma, the Red River, used to be shootout. Now we're calling it the Red River rivalry because I guess shootouts, I don't know, it's politically correct. We're not allowed to use shootout. So it used to be, for all the years we used to call it Red River Shootout. Now it's called the Red River Rivalry. You got Oklahoma this week. You got Georgia the next week. And guess where Texas goes the week after Georgia? Vanderbilt. They go to Nashville.
Oh, yeah.
They go to Nashville. And that is a defense, or excuse me, that's an offense it's hard to prepare for, right? I mean, you've got to be able to get those guys ready. Go back to 2011. The option, it's hard to defend. We'll see how Texas handles those 3 games. Like I said, it's and they don't have anything else, but neither did we. I mean, we had South Carolina. That's a women's basketball school and a good one.
it's a new reality in a new world, and everybody's path to greatness this year, as you just pointed out, is going to be different. There are teams that are looking at their schedule now, Ryan, who are terrified when they were singing Hallelujah before the season started.
Sure. None of us circled Vanderbilt. Yeah. I mean, but they had a couple of calls yesterday that said they did, and I guess I need to get back. Remember that. Hey, so, Greg, you got a score for me?
Yes, sir. Alabama's going to win 49-13.
49-13. Jalen Milroe total passing yards.
I'm going to say 313.
313. Greg, I appreciate you as always, man.
Yes, sir. Have a great day and Roll Tide.
Hey, Roll Tide, right back to you. Greg in Athens. Let's continue with more phone calls, and we go to Danny in Mountainville. Danny, good afternoon. You're in the game. I hope all is well. It's been too long, man.
It has been too long. I picked up a bus route. It's kind of hard to listen to. A bus route starts at 2:30 and ends at 4:30, and by then I'm
you're drained. You're drained. Yeah.
I did not see last Saturday coming, Ron.
No, most of us didn't.
But the 9 possessions that they had the ball, the one that really hurt me besides the double twos on the field, that was a lack of focus, lack of communication, whatever you want to call it. But the last drive, getting 3 first downs, knowing we had to stop them, that kind of put the nail in the coffin to me. I had questions about this defense from the get-go because I didn't think we had enough people up front to stop the run. And it's a run, how many running plays did they run? 58, something like that?
Yeah, I don't have the number right in front of me, but I can.
I think it was 50. They had more running plays than we had plays. And I didn't feel good after the first drive. I've seen enough football to know that they were winning the line of scrimmage, and they were setting up plays like the shovel pass, and the 4th down and faking let's throw deep, and the little swing pass down at the goal line. We just wasn't in sync. And I thought, well, maybe with the missed extra point when it was 13-0, we'll right the ship and win 48-21 or something like that. But it was that day, Vanderbilt was a better football team. That they had a better plan, they had a better focus, and then I really didn't like the way we finished the character of our team at the end of the game. That just didn't look like us. But the guy just called, said he feels better. I don't feel better. It's been a long time since I was this bad about a football game. I hate to lose a game to learn a lesson. I like to squeak by and still learn that lesson.
Sure. It would have been preferably, and I think they would have. I mean, if you don't have the fumble from Jalen Milroe, that was not his fault, but, you play as a team, you win as a team. Elijah Pritchett whiffed on that block, and it lowered his head, and it was all she wrote.
Do you not feel like, though, Milroe should have felt that coming in the pocket?
I don't know. I think he was. Yeah. He probably should, but I mean, you could criticize Elijah Pritchett for not having a hustle after he gets beat. I mean, if he has a little hustle instead of a quit, you got to look for that ball. Yeah.
Well, he kind of got pancaked.
And we couldn't.
He just lowered that head, man. It was. I mean, and Cap was talking about it today, the offensive line coach, and he said, that's an issue. I mean, it's very simple.
But this is a big game, and we're going to win. But I'm not one of these ones that's going to call you back Monday and say we need to make reservations for Atlanta and get ready for the playoffs just because we beat South Carolina. And like so many people after we beat Georgia, we felt really too good about that win because that game almost got away from us. I mean, our defense in the last 6 or 7 quarters has been awful. And
67 points. In 6 quarters.
Shane Beamer said that we do a good job on 3rd down. What game was he watching last week? But anyway, it's just that makes retirement seem so much better now. But from football, but I was frustrated, but you know what really hurt me? As soon as the game was over, my Barner friends started texting me Vandy stuff and all this, and I'm thinking, I thought they lost too that day, but it's just classic Auburn being Auburn, but wanting us to lose instead of them win. He sent me a text last night saying that the Alabama Vandy game was on replay on ESPN if I missed it the first time.
Oh yeah.
And he said, "Did you know that Ryan Williams is the youngest player to ever lose to Vanderbilt in football?" Just stuff like that. Just that I really.
But I mean, have you heard Auburn people complaining about 2-4? They really care about one team. They could go 0-11 and get to Alabama and win. They're 1-11 at the end of the season. They're happy with it. We live rent free in their head. But that's more about their program than it is about our program, right? I mean, it's who it is. I mean, that program has a loser mentality. And, I would just text them and say, you guys already working on a scandal for Hugh? You guys ready to release that? And now the only problem is it's going to be believable.
Well, I will say this. Vandy has lost the surprise of the game that they always come close to winning. We should have learned our lesson when they played Missouri tough. And then when Missouri, I think the real Missouri showed up in Texas on last Saturday. That I think we'll handle business. But what bothers me if we do go 10-2, that I'm hoping that Vandy loss won't look as bad at the end of the year as it does now. Right now, it kind of hurts.
Well, and I tell you what, let's go through it just real quick. You got Kentucky this weekend. That's on the road at the Bluegrass State. So you got Kentucky this weekend. Then you got Ball State. Then you got Texas, which we just talked about a couple of seconds ago with Greg. Then you have to go to Auburn. Then South Carolina. Then LSU. Then Tennessee. There's some winnable games there.
That's right. And that quarterback had one of them Johnny Manziel, Stephen Garcia days that we have been known to have against us. And then you remember, Ryan, a few years ago, we were going to have a tune-up right before the Auburn game with Georgia Southern. And they like to ran us out of the stadium, and we outscored them 55-44 or something like that.
I do. Yeah.
We do not play the option. We do not play the run option very well. And but I do think we need to. I'm not saying we can't change our defense because I like an extra person up on the line of scrimmage myself, but
I want to take you to 2000. I want to take you to 2011. Okay, you give me just 2 seconds right here. I want to read off some names: Mark Barron, Robert Lester, Dante Hightower, C.J. Mosley, Courtney Upshaw, Nico Johnson, Drake Kirkpatrick, Daquan Menzie, D. Milliner, and Josh Chapman. 2011 defense gave up 8.6 points per game. One of the best I've ever seen here. 2011. Go look at that schedule with that triple option. Georgia, Southern. And that was the crap through a 10-horn game at Nick Saban. I was in the room when he called it. They ran through our And
Coach didn't do a whole lot of favors Saturday morning when he said that Vandy was an easy place to play.
Yeah, I thought
it should have been. But I mean, we got more people there. But it's hard to flip that switch on in the middle of the first quarter, and our second quarter or halftime. I never thought we would lose the football game, but I did not think we were ready to play, and I did not think we would play well. I can remember 1969 losing to Vanderbilt. I think Steve Sloan was the coach. I remember the 84 game, but that was not a good football team in 84 that Vandy beat here. But it happened. We got it. I mean, that's guys right. We do have to accept it. But I do think we have really, I'm not saying we got to run the table.
Well, I think Kalen said it on Monday. He said, we have reduced our margin of error. I think he said wiggle room, but it's same thing. I mean, you don't have that wiggle room. And, you look at Tennessee 2 weeks. That's, but even after Saturday, if you look at Saturday against Arkansas, that's probably a loss. I mean, it's.
Yep.
I mean, it stings to say this, but this is the new college football. Danny, give me a score. Alabama Vanderbilt.
41-14. I'm going to back off on Milroe's passing yard because I think we need to utilize the two great backs we have more. And I'm going to say 225.
225. I got it, Danny. Be safe, man. Appreciate you.
I'll be in touch.
Thank you. Danny in Moundville. We appreciate that. Let's continue with more phone calls coming up here in just a couple of minutes. We'll take those. Super Joe, get ready. We're going to move Josh Pate up. We're going to take him in about 4 minutes. We're going to take with him in about 4 minutes. Let's go to Super Joe. Super Joe, you're in the game. I hope all is well.
Oh, what's going on, man? How you feeling, partner?
I'm good, man. I hope you are. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, man. I'm going ahead going to the Hey Coach show tonight. I'm just in there midst doing a little house cleaning. I said, I'm out here just out here spraying up the garbage cans and putting a little Fabuloso in and getting odor out of. You know how that is.
Yeah. I got you. You always got to do that. Always got to take care of the trash. You and Nick Saban have something in common. He always told us that was his responsibility at the house, that he took out the trash. So it's your responsibility. You got something in common with Nick Saban. I mean, when I take out the trash, I think about, man, I got something in common with Nick Saban. I mean, I got a lot of things that are not common, but taking out the trash is part of my responsibility too, Super Joe.
Yeah, and I say with all fair, I'm looking, I see I'm going up there. But I know something a little bit. They don't have a guest list when you go like in the morning time or anywhere between 10 and after. I know when Coach Saban was the coach, I'm telling you, those guest lists were just filling up. Boop, 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 boop. It's like by the time you get there early, I mean, it's like 4 pages already filled up. But now as I looked at it this morning, Kalen DeBoer, I mean, it was number 4 people signed up on the guest list. I was the 4th one. And I said, shoot, people are taking their time filling this up. Ain't nobody really pushing. I mean, this is Vanderbilt loss. It must have really stunned a lot of people.
I got you.
And what I noticed,
now, when you go to the Kalen DeBoer show, I mean, do you ask a question?
Yeah, I do. I always talk about the game that's coming up. Like, let's say South Carolina. Okay, I'm gonna ask about South Carolina. That's one thing.
So go ahead and practice. I'm going to pretend to be Kalen DeBoer, and then, because practice makes perfection, Super Joe. So here we go.
Okay, well, Coach DeBoer, how you feel today, partner?
Oh, man, I'm great, man. We had a great morning of practice. Our team's focused. We know that the mistakes at Vanderbilt, we're ready to clean those things up, and we've had a good week of practice.
That's good. But now, how are you feeling about the upcoming opponent, South Carolina?
We're going to stomp a mud hole in them.
All right. I like that kind of talk, but then at the same time, I think I hear the old coach saying rat poison. That's good. That's what we want to do, and that's what we better do. But one thing about it is, but one day we have to look at this. We got a new coach now, and he's offensive minded. So I accept Kellen DeBoer for what he is. I was it was just like a bad hemorrhoid to lose to Vanderbilt. That's all. But losses are going to come, and you're going to have to deal with them in these sports.
Yeah,
that's the
but you need to. You want something that will impress him. You want something that'll impress him, make him feel better after a loss like this week.
Well, I guess a good victory for this week.
Well, go ahead and wish him a happy early birthday.
Oh, didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Today was my dad's birthday.
Okay, he'll turn 50 coming up in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. So you can wish him a happy early birthday, Super Joe. I'm telling you, man, that right there might get you some brownie points, man.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna wish him early happy birthday. Okay, I didn't know Kevin DeBoer's birthday, but I will do that.
There you go. All right. Yeah, it's 2 weeks, I guess. 2 weeks. Him and Nate Oates turns 50 the same month. It's kind of funny that we have two coaches that are 49. Nate Oates will also turn 50 later this month as well. And then Coach Saban will turn, 75? So October's been good for coaches. Maybe that's my problem. I was born in February. It was cold.
Yeah.
All right, so
I'm trying to lay.
Give me a score.
Okay, I'm laying aside. I'm trying to lay aside some dough to get on I'll go on the bus travel in case we do go to SEC championship.
I mean, you wish him a happy birthday. He may take you on the plane trip to Knoxville.
That sounds great to me.
All right. Super Joe.
I'm going to take you up on that.
All right. Just wish him a happy early birthday because he'll be impressed. He'll be like, wow, these Alabama fans, they are. All right, here we go. Super Joe, give me a score real quick.
Okay, Alabama, a good bounce back. I said it's going to be 44 to about 10.
44 to 10. How about Jalen Milroe passing yards? Where do you want to go?
Oh, I think he got to go to 468.
468. All right, Super Joe. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Probably the only sports talk radio show that I heard giving away Alabama, Georgia tickets. Those were courtesy of BetU, the official BetU Instagram. Always some great information there. Head-to-head betting, #1 app for betting your friends. Eliminates the juice, no fees. 1-to-1 in custom group chats. You can even find somebody to challenge. It's legalized in multiple states, including the state of Alabama. But you can also go to Georgia, Florida, Kentucky, Louisiana, North Carolina, South Carolina, Texas. So if you want to go find a little South Carolina fan, challenge them a little bit. BetU. You can find it right there. BetU, downloadable on the iPhone platform, but they are testing the Android. Hopefully, we'll get an approval to go ahead and approve that next week. Let's continue with more phone calls. I got 2 Tommies up on the board, Paul and Lincoln here. Okay, gotcha. Okay, here we go. Paul and Lincoln. Paul, good afternoon. You're in the game. I hope all is well, man. Have you recovered from yesterday? Did you feel better after you yelled at me?
Ryan, did I mention yesterday that Vanderbilt ran the clock out on Alabama?
No. Will you hit it again?
No. Ryan, I do have something. I got to blame Coach DeBoer for something else. I got to thinking, I blame Coach DeBoer for not allowing me to embrace the suck.
He got you so distracted you didn't even focus on the Auburn Tigers.
He got me so distracted that I forgot to embrace the suck yesterday on my call. So let me get that out of the way. Let's embrace the suck, and that is SAUCK.
And what does the AU stand for? Yeah.
The AU stands for the Auburn Tigers.
Oh, you mean the Auburn Tigers are not going to a bowl game because they're 2-4? Is that's the same Tigers?
Ryan, whoa. Ryan, I've got some even better numbers for you, Ryan.
Okay.
Now, Ryan, as bad as we feel as Alabama fans, as embarrassed as we are or were after losing to Vanderbilt, maybe this can make some of us feel better. I don't know. The last 9 games for the Auburn Tigers, they are 2 wins and 7 losses. Think about that. 2 wins and 7 losses. Their last 9 football games. Their last 15 games, Ryan, they're 5 wins and 10 losses. Think about that. The coach they hired, Hugh Hefner, Hunter Freeze, his combined SEC record as a coach in the SEC is 22 wins and now 28 losses. That's the face of the Bugs program.
And that's
listen,
rough.
I'm as upset as anyone about losing to Vanderbilt. And did I mention that Vanderbilt ran the clock out on Alabama?
Yes, you did.
Okay. But think about this. What would we think if our last 9 games we were 2 wins and 7 losses? It would be Armageddon. But that's the state of the union in Lee County. They're a pathetic, an absolute, they are a pathetic football wannabe program. They're a joke. They're as irrelevant as this blade of grass I'm looking at right now in my yard.
I also heard Hugh Hefner say that they're already tampering with players. We're in the first week of October. So, Hugh, can you blame the players? I mean, this is one situation where it's kind of hard to blame them.
He's the biggest fraud in college football. He is as big a fraud as oatmeal Joe Biden. Okay? And that's saying something. He is as big a fraud as Kamala Harris. Okay? Hugh Hefner, Hunter Freeze is a joke. And he's the face of the Lee County Booger Tigers. Okay? So I'm slowly, the more I think about the Bugs and the state of their program, I feel much better. Even after a loss to Vanderbilt, who ran the clock out on Alabama, I feel better when you compare our program, the state of our program, compared to the Lee County Booger Tigers program, and their coach. Their coach is a fraud. He's a complete joke. That program is irrelevant, okay? They're irrelevant, Ryan, okay? They mean nothing. They're a bottle cap. They're a piece of lint, okay?
Paul, there's nothing like Auburn to get us back on track. I want to thank you, Hugh Hefner. I mean, this is pretty awesome, man.
Yes, exactly. They're like I said, you compare the two programs, they're a joke. They are a joke, a complete and utter joke. And I hate sharing the state with them. I really do. There ought to be a special. I don't know what you could. There ought to be some special property to put that place at. Okay, I don't know where you could put them, but I hate sharing the thing around with them.
We're going to have to, and I don't know if this is even a possibility, but we're going to have to get you to Tuscaloosa, man. I think you need to move away from Lincoln when you retire and come to Tuscaloosa. We don't have to put up with as many bugs as you do over in East Alabama. We're going to have to bring you to Tuscaloosa over here in God's country, man. I mean,
I'm telling you, this place. It's about 50-50 the community that I live in. And you know, it is. But you know, I'm flying my MAGA flag. I'm flying my Trump flag. I'm flying my Bama flag. So there's no doubt where Paul and Lincoln stands when it comes to the state of the country and the state of college football in this state.
Hey, Paul, I got you, man. I need to take an obscene profit break, according to Rush Limbaugh.
Exactly, brother. All right. Let's get some more callers in here. Get their
powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota. TuscaloosaToyota.com. 3325 Skyler Boulevard and online at TuscaloosaToyota.com. We're doing a Southern Owl House score prediction day, and we only have one more guest, right? Josh from College Football Nerds is going to join us, and then we are done with guests for the remaining part of the show. If you want to jump in, now would be the time to do it. 205-342-9904. 205-342-9904. Giving away a gigantic prize package. And we do have a couple of lines available there. So we'll line those back up with Alabama, South Carolina. Josh from College Football Nerds, I will tell you that I had a special request over the weekend. Now, Josh is busy just like all of us. We have him from Wednesday from 3 to 3:30, 3:25. I was having people request that I do a Facebook Live show with you. It was like an emergency mandatory meeting to reach out to Josh and help us explain this Vanderbilt loss. Josh, welcome to a very chaotic Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Hope all is well.
Ryan, things are going okay. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, but they were demanding that I do an emergency meeting on Sunday afternoon with you. So I said, no, we're going to get him on Wednesday at 3. That's his time. Give him a couple of days to absorb the film and kind of break this thing down. But what went wrong, in your opinion, for the Alabama Crimson Tide?
Everything. Can we just end the discussion there? No. I mean, a lot of stuff went wrong. I think the first thing to understand in a game like this, and I think it's the most difficult thing to understand when teams play any sort of veer or triple option team, is it's a really short game. Yeah, usually a team gets the ball about 12 times, about 12 possessions in a game. Alabama got it 9 times. One of those was a pick six. Vandy got it, I think, 8. So, you know, when you think about it, it's like a normal game is 50% longer than that game. And just like, you know, if you're rolling dice or you play poker, you roll out, you know, you're playing Texas Hold'em, I think everybody understands the more cards are on the table, the more dice you roll, the more the law of averages come into play, and you can kind of predict what's going to happen. But when you shorten the game, when there's only a small number of possessions, you know, the volatility level goes up, right? The unpredictability of the game goes up, and 1 or 2 mistakes become a big deal. And the first thing is the defense had a lot of issues in that game. Obviously got, run over pretty well. We'll talk about that in a second. The stats aren't, in some ways they're terrible. In some ways they're not. I'll say, like, the defense gave up 12 yards per pass attempt. That's terrible. Every time Vanderbilt dropped back to pass, on average, they got 12 yards. But they only ran for about 3 yards a carry. And that's not too much. If they ran the ball 3 times on average, they did not get a first down in that game. And I don't think it almost would probably blow a lot of Alabama fans' minds because of the fact that Vanderbilt managed to run the clock out at the end of the game. But for the most of the game, they didn't run the ball very well. And what ended up happening though is there were a couple key drives in that game that went wrong. A number of them defensively, a couple of them offensively. And if you have 2 bad drives in a game where there are only 8 drives, that's 25% of your of the game that you just blew. And when you get in a hole in a game that short, you just don't have enough time. You don't have the ball enough to make up for it. So it kind of was a combination of all those negative factors. And I'll let you sort of push me into which one you want to talk about, but all those things combined to end up with a result where Vandy ended up beating them.
Let's go to the defense's side of the football. How do you think Alabama tried to counter some of that, and did they make any adjustments that maybe jumped off to the screen at you?
I think Alabama went into that game thinking they could play more or less their base defense and be able to stop Vanderbilt. Alabama runs a 4-2-5. I will say a lot of people are talking about how Alabama needs to put more defensive linemen. I've heard that from a million Alabama fans on Twitter and other sources. That's just wrong. When you watch the tape, I don't have any other way to put it. When I went back and I watched, like, if you go watch the highlight clips or watch some tape of it, every play, virtually every play on the highlight film for Vanderbilt, Alabama has 3 defensive linemen on the field. Sometimes they had 4. And I think Alabama started in one defense. It didn't really work, kind of got driven down the field on that first drive. And that second drive, I don't know if people fully process it. There were actually 2 penalties that extended that. One was the 2 number 2s that extended it on the punt. And then the roughing the passer, I believe that was the same drive. It ended up being 17 plays Vanderbilt ran because penalties kept extending it. And, they kind of settled down after that, slowed Vanderbilt down. And I almost think in the second half, they almost overcompensated. They started playing more defensive linemen, changed up their formations a little bit, tried to be heavier. And then what I saw on tape is once they did that, the defense looked confused. I don't think that's what they practiced extensively. And they were stopping the run pretty well, actually, in the second half. Again, I think people, when they watch the option, they see the other team get 3 or 4 yards in chunks, and they think, oh, my gosh, they're used to Nick Saban stopping them for 0 yards. I don't know if people remember, but Nick Saban gave up a ton of yards against the Citadel and Georgia Southern years ago against option teams. It's really hard to stop an option team cold. The problem is that Alabama got just destroyed in the pass game, right? They'd get them to 3rd and 7, and then Vanderbilt would throw for 20 yards every time. And I think that was because when those weird formations, they got a lot of assignments wrong. When you watch it on tape, there's a lot of misdirection from Vanderbilt. There's a lot of, motion one way, quarterback pivot, do a blind reverse bootleg, throw the ball to a receiver, and the guys were just always open. I think Alabama got confused. There's a lot of assignment football that was bad. I think they did adjust, actually. They tried to go heavier. I almost think they were worse for having done it. I think on both sides of the ball in this game, Alabama kind of abandoned their game plan, and I think that was bad probably all around. But, a lot of it is just, option teams are hard to defend. They're confusing. Navy beat Notre Dame a few years ago. Army almost beat Oklahoma in 2018 when they played in the playoff. You get into one of these games on option teams and you aren't prepared and you don't know your assignments. And I think coming off the Georgia game, they maybe didn't take this so seriously. You can get beat. And I will say, let me give one little aside because I think it's interesting. Malachi Moore was a big talking point because he got frustrated at the end of the game, kicked the ball. All the fans are mad at him. And then he goes in a press conference and says, well, we've been talking to the coaches and we really think one of the things we need to do is get the play call in earlier. And everybody takes that as some sort of negativity about Malachi Moore and how he's putting things on the coaches. I'll tell you my personal theory.
Okay.
When I go back and watch, like there's a 4th down play where Malachi Moore people remember he got beat for a touchdown on 4th and 1. I've watched that about 3 times. I am 95% certain that is Saab's guy, not Moore's. Moore realized that Saab was busting, turned and ran and chased him to try to save the touchdown. That was not his guy. And there are a couple other times in that game where Moore, being a highly experienced, really intelligent player, saw somebody else messing up and said, I need to go cover that guy because nobody's going to. And when you do that, you are rarely in good position to cover. You end up chasing him for a late tackle. But you watch it and you blame him, but it was never his guy in the first place. I think Moore was extremely frustrated, not at Vandy. I think he was frustrated with his teammates and the way they played, because there were a lot of bad assignments. And the statement about how they need to get the play call in, remember, Moore is not the guy that receives the play call. I think Moore was frustrated because his teammates were not getting the call in, communicating it, and getting lined up. Ooh. I think that statement was a way of not throwing his other players under the bus and saying, if you want to read between the lines, my teammates can't get lined up fast enough. They're struggling to understand what they're supposed to do. We need to get the play call in faster so that we have more time to get settled. And if I need to tell somebody they're doing something wrong, I have time to do it. I think that's what that's about. And based on tape, that's what I saw a lot, is that Alabama was constantly misaligned, constantly not filling the right gaps, and it was a ton of little things that ending up to a bad result.
Josh, is Alabama too predictable on the defensive side of the ball?
I don't know that I'd say that. I know there was a video Austin Brooks put out.
Sure.
He's actually a friend of ours, another YouTube channel. All of us talked. I don't know that I wholly agree with him. They did run a lot of cover one robber. That's a really common thing to do against the option, though. Everybody's a little predictable against the option because the thing is the option itself is really predictable. There's 3 handoff options. They're all reads. And the whole trick with the option is you just want to know your assignment really well. You want to do your assignment every time. And if you do it all correctly, you probably stop it. And so you don't want to be too complicated or confusing because it just confuses yourself. So I think there's a little bit of that. I do think also Alabama, remember, for most of that game, they had 2 true freshman corners on the field. Red Morgan, because Smith got hurt, and they have Brown. Jackson is a transfer. Saab is a transfer, and Moore's changed positions. None of the 5 guys on the field are playing the same players playing the same position that Alabama had a year ago. 4 of the 5 guys are new to the program. I really doubt they have as many packages as they would like installed. There's probably a lot of stuff they're not comfortable running. And that's what happens when you have 5 guys all running a new system. Not just a new system, but new players running a new system. So there probably are some areas where they are a little predictable, but it's probably almost unavoidable because, when you got a bunch of true freshmen on the field, it's hard to have a whole lot of plays because they don't know how to run them.
All right, I'm going to take that question and maybe twist it around a little bit because, and you could look around college football. You don't even have to apply this to Alabama. But because you're having to start players, we could probably even say the offense as well. Are you having to be simpler in your calls because you're having to count on guys earlier and earlier and earlier, especially if you have an injury? And Alabama's had to deal with a few injuries. Is that a issue that you see around college football? Maybe simpler defense, and that would probably set up an easier to attack too.
I think so. Defenses have simplified in a lot of ways. Look, the NFL did that years ago. And Alabama fans have probably heard for years, NFL coaches have always said that Saban's defense is way too complicated. Nobody in the NFL ran Saban's defense. And that's because even in the NFL with guys that played football that much longer, they can't be a free agent, go into a team, and immediately play in a complicated defense. It takes too long to get them up to speed. So they run defenses where a guy can come in and within a couple weeks understand the scheme, understand the terminology, and just go. And with the transfer portal, it basically makes college football more like free agency in the NFL. You got to have a scheme guys can come in and play, and you have to simplify it. Now, we've talked a lot about how defenses have kind of adjusted, and they've really shut down or made it more difficult to be those high-flying offenses that we've seen. I think we'll see that in college football, some of these games like Oregon, Ohio State. It won't shock me if that's a lower-scoring game than some people think because they both have really good defenses, and they're going to give each other fits. The problem is that the option isn't a new, modern, high-flying offense. And I think, if you go look right now, okay, Ryan, this is quick. If you look at the 3 top rushing offenses in the country in yards per play, number 1 is Boise State, who has Gene T, who's probably the best running back in the country, probably ought to win the Heisman, in my opinion. If you haven't seen him, you should go watch him. The kid's just phenomenal. Number 2 is Army. Number 3 is Navy. And those were teams that were ranked in the hundreds in offense the last few years, and they're both top 10, top 5 offenses right now. All these simplified schemes, all these aggressive zone schemes are really great against the modern stuff, but everything in the world is cyclical, and what we're seeing is that these option-based pure run teams kind of kick their butt. Like, they don't do well. So I do think everybody's had to simplify. Look, the scheme Alabama runs is very similar to the scheme Michigan ran last year. It's similar to the scheme that most of the top teams in college football are running now. It's not all that different what Ohio State runs. It's not all that different than what Texas runs. There's nothing special. Alabama fans are weirdly angry about it because it's not Saban's scheme. It's the same thing as most of the teams that have the top defenses run, okay? It's just that they're in year 1 of doing it with a lot of young players, and they're not great at doing it yet. And they happen to run against a team that ran the power option, and that is kind of like the kryptonite for the new style of defenses from what we're seeing statistically.
Josh, I think some things, when you focus on the negative, certainly a loss to Vanderbilt in Tuscaloosa grabs our attention. But was there any positives that you take away from that game, offense or defense, something that jumped out to you?
I mean, I think the positives were that when they did things right, they did put pretty well. It's hard. Even the positives are going to be a backhanded compliment. I'm gonna just get that out right now. But let me give you a couple things that I think are kind of interesting or telling. Alabama had 8.8 yards per play in that game. Now, Vandy is a top 25 offense in our metric. Interestingly, Ryan, collegefootballnerds.com, we have all these stats metrics, and one of which is we have a performance index for quarterbacks where we take a lot of our advanced stats and put them together. Diego Pavia is 8th in our quarterback ranking nationally. So it's hard to stop him. Vandy's defense is in the 80s or 90s, okay? So Alabama's offense did mostly what it needed to do, about 9 yards of play. The defense struggled, but the most telling thing to me is that outside that first quarter, really the first drive, and then you have the second drive that gets extended twice on penalties, the rest of the game, Vandy never drove more than 60 yards the entire game. Not once. They scored a number of touchdowns, but every time they scored a touchdown, they got the ball either in Alabama's side of the field or the furthest they had it was Vandy's 45 or 47. They never drove 60 yards. And offensively, Alabama's offense, again, 9 yards of play is crazy. They almost got a first down every snap. So the positive I would say is, I talked about the number of possessions. Alabama had the ball 9 times. One of those times they throw a pick six. One of those times they fumble the ball away to Vandy on their own side of the field and give up 2 touchdowns. If they don't make those critical mistakes in that short of a game, Alabama probably wins that game in a blowout. And statistically, success rate, meaning the rate of successful plays, Alabama was about 15, 20% better than Vandy. It's actually one of the largest margins in football last weekend. So the snap, as frustrating as that game was, Alabama did outplay Vandy. The problem is, in the game of football, those big plays matter, and about every big play that Alabama needed to make or needed to avoid making, Vandy got. Alabama's held teams to about 30% on third down all year, and they gave up 12 of 18 on Saturday. Alabama was better than Vandy's average defensively in terms of yards per play allowed. Alabama held Vandy to 3 yards a carry. A lot of the underlying stats are actually pretty good for Alabama. And I will say, when you project a team forward, the way we do when we model teams, right? You can go to our website, you can model one team versus another. We don't factor in things like turnovers that heavily because maybe one game you have turnovers, another one you don't. Alabama was -2 in turnovers, which is bad, but it's a lot worse, again, when it's a quarter of the game, when it's so short, -2. That was like a -4 turnover game in a normal game, okay? And so what I'm saying with all that is if that game plays again and Alabama doesn't throw a pick six and they don't have a timely fumble, they probably win that game going away. And so I would just say that people like Nicole Arbach, who, I respect as a journalist, but she puts out a playoff projection. She didn't just knock Alabama out of the top 12. She didn't even include them as a bubble team in the top 16. And I think that's pretty absurd. I mean, this is still the Alabama team that beat Georgia 2 weeks ago. And in terms of all the little things, as many issues as they had, they still actually played pretty well on most of the plays. They just played bad enough on enough key plays to lose. And yeah, that puts a one loss in the column. But if you're talking about how Alabama is going to be good next week and the week after and the week after that, there were most of that game, Alabama showed they're good enough to play with anybody in the country. They just also showed that, anybody, no matter how good you are, and this is what Saban always preached, if you make enough mistakes, if you turn the ball over enough, you can lose to anybody too. So to me, that's the positive hidden in the negative.
Josh, when you had Sabian Brown and Ryan Williams, by the way, Ryan Williams on the Blitnikoff watch list, he's been added to that. Was that just simply a punt safe that they kept their defense, but then put a returner back there for a punt safe? How did you explain that when you look back at the number two? Is it certainly unexcusable, but trying to justify it in some ways?
I think that's probably what happened. And then, I don't know the communication. I don't think it's excusable. We could go on some rants, Ryan. This is why I think things like having duplicate numbers is a bad idea. You should never, in my view, if you have two guys that play special teams at all, then they should never have the same number because you can lose a game over it. But yeah, I mean, that's what it is. And usually what it is they go punt safe, right? So they leave the defense out and they say, we'll switch a safety for a returner. And then Ryan Williams is not Alabama's normal returner the last few weeks. So my guess is due to injuries or something else, they said, let's not put Cole Adams, Kendrick Law's hurt. Let's not put Cole Adams out there. He's banged up. Who's the next guy? Ryan Williams. Williams, you go. And when they're making that scramble to put him out on the field, the combination of finding the third returner and being in punt safe and not having the standard punt unit, nobody put two and two together, pun intended, and said, hey, we got Brown and Williams on the field. So I think it's probably a combination of strange circumstances and just nobody caught it.
All right, let's go to South Carolina. How do you think this team will respond?
I mean, I think they'll respond well. We talked about, quarterback ratings and whatnot. I'll be honest. We got Pavia, number 8 in the country. Jalen Milroe, by the way, is number 3. But Sellers, I think he's like 90th or 100th. I mean, South Carolina does not throw the ball well. They've got some advantages. They can run the ball. But they still run more of a zone read scheme. It's a little simpler to defend. And I think Alabama's kind of got a fire lit under them, and they're going to come out much more prepared to do what they need to do. So, again, look, I don't think Alabama's a bad team, and Alabama didn't magically turn from a team that could beat Georgia into a terrible team overnight. And I think we're probably going to see a team that's a lot more similar to the one that beat Georgia. But the big question, like every other game, is just going to be, can they reduce those mental errors? The number of penalties, the number of turnovers, the number of key errors and big moments, assignment-wise or otherwise, is what's killing them right now, and they got to reduce those. And so I'm really curious to see versus the South Carolina game. Much like Vandy, I expect them to win. Obviously, they can lose, but I expect them to win. But can they cut down on the number of mental errors? And if they do that, this is a team that's probably going to dominate anybody they play. And if they don't do that in the game of football, if you make mental errors, if you make mistakes, you can and will lose to anyone.
Josh, let's promote College Football Nerds. CollegeFootballNerds.com. CFB Nerds on the Twitter account. Josh, I'll throw it to you, man. Take as much time as you need.
Yeah, appreciate it. College Football Nerds is our channel or brand. Our main content's on YouTube. You can go to just search for College Football Nerds. You'll find us on YouTube. We do game previews this year. This week we did a top 10 recap of some of the stuff that happened, including a lot of discussion of that Alabama-Vandy game. We did a preview of Ohio State and Oregon. We also did a preview that's coming out, I think, tomorrow for Texas and Oklahoma. And we do deep dives, like 20 to 40-minute discussions of one game, a big game each week. You can also follow us on Twitter, where we talk a lot of stats. I gave you an example, something we tweeted yesterday, which I find interesting. If you look at the AP's polls, number 1 through number 4, starting with Ohio State, all the top 4 in the AP poll are all among the 10 worst strength of schedules so far in college football among Power 5 teams. And among all Power teams, the worst ranked strength of schedule in college football is Ohio State right now. Now, their strength of schedule gets much harder, but right now they have the literal weakest schedule of all Power 5 teams statistically. And so you can find a lot of that stuff we talk about on Twitter, and you can go to collegefootballnerds.com, read a lot of stats. We got a lot of stats that are opponent adjusted. It's kind of a unique thing we do. And you can model any team against college football against any other team. And we even have a ranking of all the teams where we run a model between like Alabama and all 132 other teams in the country and say, what would your record be? And then we kind of play that hypothetical season and rank every team 1 to 133. So, those are our main channels. Figure out what interests you. And again, the YouTube part's the big part. And subscribe and follow us wherever you can.
Josh, I'm going to go back to ask one question, and I've been throwing this around. You think when we get to the SEC title game, not the playoffs, you think we'll have a team that will represent, and I don't feel like an undefeated team is going to be there, but do you feel like that we're going to have multiple lost teams in the SEC title game?
I think probably 50-50 shot.
Okay.
The number 2 team will be a multiple loss team. I'll say something further, Ryan.
Okay.
The reason that I'm saying it's a 50-50 shot is I think there's a very good shot somebody like Ole Miss is going to end up there at 11-1 and probably not be even one of the top 3 teams in the country or in the conference. The thing that I find more interesting, I think there's a real good shot that one of the teams in the SEC championship game probably might even be like the 4th or 5th best team in the conference. Like I don't think Texas A&M plays Alabama either this year, do they?
They do not, no.
Yeah, and their schedule, as it turns out, is ending up looking a lot easier than was expected. So somebody like Ole Miss or Texas A&M that doesn't play Alabama, they could easily get in that conference championship game with 1 or 2 losses over, say, a 2-loss or 3-loss Alabama that's actually a better team but just played a harder schedule.
CFB Nerds on the Twitter account, collegefootballnerds.com, collegefootballnerds.com. Go to the YouTube, subscribe to him, find him there. Josh and his colleagues able to break down a lot of college football, the models. Here in Tuscaloosa, let's go to Tommy and Romulus. Tommy, good afternoon. You're in the game. I hope all is well, man.
All is well. How are you?
I'm good. Just making it through the day. I feel like we're a day beyond where we were at yesterday. And today's Wednesday. Today's the Kayla DeBoer show. Tomorrow's Thursday. Another big day on our lineup. And then, tomorrow, then the next day is Friday. We'll do a parlay pick day. And, then Saturday will solve a lot of our problems, right? Hopefully we'll see a different looking football team.
Yeah, I want to see a team more focused and, ready to play. And like Coach DeBoer said, we have no wiggle room left.
No, we do not.
We got to take care of business. And quit thinking about the playoffs. Think about the task in front of you. Get better today. Then you can get better tomorrow. And the next day, just focus on the task. I know that it's so boring, but it's so truthful and right. You just got to stay on task. And your guest broke it down very easily.
It was great.
Yeah, everybody quit panicking. Like I said yesterday, did we really believe that he was going to go 15 years without losing the game? No.
Undefeated 3 years in a row to open up his tenure in Tuscaloosa. Come on. Yep.
Yeah, come on. And now, this is what really made me mad yesterday.
Uh-oh.
And I hope you didn't send me a box, because I'm going to be mad at you. I wasn't ranking a Raven. I was raving. I'm like, give the other team respect.
And probably we didn't do enough of that.
And they are a SEC team. And when the portal now, this guy came from what, New Mexico State or
he did.
something?
Yeah, not just the quarterback, but the offensive coordinator and the head coach now is on the staff as well.
Well, but look at this. All right. Nobody was looking at this young man 3 or 4 years ago when he was coming out of high school. It was small school. All right. He made a name. He beat Auburn. I think his freshman year, he was at another school. Didn't they beat Liberty? And who was the coach at Liberty at the time? Do you know? I mean, I'm getting old. My memory's not as good as it used to be. But I think it was Hugh Hefner-Freeze. So really, this young man had beat Hugh Hefner-Freeze twice and got an opportunity to do it a third time later this year. Nobody had taken that into account.
All right, I mean, let's play the win-loss game here just for a couple of minutes. Okay, so Vanderbilt is sitting here with a win over Virginia Tech. Let's count them. A win on Alcorn State. They did have an ugly loss to Georgia State. They lost to Missouri. So they're 3-2 right now. Okay, they play Kentucky this weekend. I want to go real quick. I'm gonna see what that line is because I don't know it offhand.
But you can't depend on Kentucky.
No, but in the trenches, they'll play better than we did, okay? Kentucky minus the 13.5. Okay, so let's give an L right there. Now you're 3-3. You play Ball State, that's a win. 4. Now Texas, I'm not saying Texas is going to lose, but I didn't think Alabama's going to lose either. Texas has to go to Nashville after playing both Oklahoma this week, Georgia next week. Then they'll load the buses, no bye week, and go and prepare for the option team. Okay, so you play them, Texas. Now Texas doesn't carry the same weight as Alabama. I mean, Texas, in their eyes, they're the king of college football. In everybody else's eyes, they're not. But in their own little ego, yes, it's big. So I'm not saying they could lose that game, but it may be closer than what we anticipate. Then they go to Auburn, winnable football game. They have South Carolina at home, winnable football game for Vanderbilt. At LSU, probably not going to win that one on the road. And they got Tennessee at home. I mean, this is a Vanderbilt team that could probably win 7 football games.
Yes, but Vanderbilt, remember this, we don't take this, we make fun of Auburn. Vanderbilt can win 5 games, and with their high academic standards,
that's right,
you get to a bowl.
And for Vanderbilt, a Clark Lee would be a bowl game, would be off the charts.
That's right. That would give him another 2 years to but like I was talking about the quarterback for Vanderbilt. Well, he went to that. His dream, there was to be the next Johnny Manziel. Well, with all the portal stuff, everybody's going to go after the big name quarterback like Ole Miss, Texas A&M, so-and-so. Well, here ain't come Vanderbilt saying, hey, we can give you so much, but you're going to get a degree or a graduate degree with the University of Vanderbilt on it, and you get to play SEC football. What? Any young man wouldn't take the opportunity to go play in the SEC. Because Alabama wouldn't beat the door down him, Georgia wasn't, Florida wasn't, only Vanderbilt. And he made the best out of the situation. And the coaches went there, too. That had a lot to do with it. But so far, it had built him up as a legend in Vanderbilt football.
Yeah.
I mean, this 10-year-old kid was at that game Saturday, and 75 years from now, will tell their grandkids I was there.
Oh, don't let it sting anymore, Tommy. Don't let it sting anymore, man. It's still stinging. Don't do that to us.
I want it to sting because I want them to remember and go out there and play football. Focus on the task and see what happened. Well, it was just like what happened the second year Saban was at Alabama. Well, we lost a close game to Florida. Then we got beat by Utah. And I remember I had a friend who was a salesperson doing something the year before, 2 years after the game, after Utah beat us. And they just rubbed it in. And my friend turned around and said this to them, said, we thank you for that loss so much. And they looked at him like, you nuts. Alabama don't like losing. But yeah, but we won the last 4 years for a national championship out of 4. You motivated the team. We thank you so much. And you know what? They didn't have nothing else to say to him.
Roll Tide. Hey, Tommy, appreciate you, man, as always. Thank you again for being a part of our show, man.
All right, man. Have a good one. Talk to you later.
You do as well. Let's go to the state of Ohio, and we go to Corey. Corey, good afternoon. Where in the world have you been?
Hey, Ryan Fowler. I've been here and there and everywhere. I've still been with you guys on the radio and in my heart, though.
Man, I have been. I went back through because I thought you exchanged some Twitter messages with me way back when. I couldn't find them, and I said, man, what has happened to our friend Corey in Ohio? And here you are, pop up on the screen. It's been a long time, man. It's good to hear you. Good to hear your voice.
It's been too long.
Send me a message on Twitter. Send me a message on Twitter.
I will.
I can reconnect.
I need to get back on there. I ain't been on that thing in a minute, but since Elon took it over and it's been getting better, you know what I'm saying, with the censorship and stuff.
Sure.
I think I'm gonna get back on there, and that way we can stay in touch. But yeah, Emily was like, my wife, she's like, man, it's been a minute since you got in touch with your show, and I'm like, you know what? You're absolutely right. I need to reach out and see how everybody's doing.
Well, and we were hearing some rumors that you might have traded in the crimson jersey for a scarlet one, but I'm glad that's all false.
Oh no, they may have legalized a certain recreational thing here in Ohio, but I've been staying away from it.
Good. Well, I hope the year's off good because I know you're a teacher up there, or at least that's what I think, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes. I hope
it did. We did. Now I'm into still teaching somewhat. It's more like HR work.
Okay.
And training and stuff, and inventory and such. So, but I do a little bit of it all. I actually work for a company now. You might know it. It makes certain football for the NFL. Wilson. So it's kind of pretty cool.
Super cool, man. That is awesome. So you're making those footballs, or you're part of the manufacturing business?
Oh yeah. I'm part of the number side of it. So I handle like the inventory. Audits, all that numbers, counting, stuff like that. I make sure that's all online.
Well, that's really neat. Yeah.
But yeah, it's super cool. We get to see people tour through the factory every day on the manufacturing side of it. And it's really cool to see people take pride in making the football that goes to your Dallas Cowboys, for example, and to the local teams here, the Bengals and the Browns, and it's neat. It's something different.
Hey, does Alabama do that? I mean, does Alabama use Wilson balls?
I wish. You know who does. They go with Nike because Nike, they with their apparel and all that, they kind of undercut that side. But there is a team in Alabama.
Oh, don't even. So now, Corey, I'm going to come up with a conspiracy. Now, are you? Are you rubbing their? Now this is going to really sound gross, but are you rubbing their balls down with like? Some kind
making them slicker.
Yeah, are you doing that, Corey? Are you part of the turnover problem down across the state? Is this all you?
I'd like to think I'm a part of it.
Okay. Well, we'll give you credit. We'll give you credit, man. So
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those Buckeye fans, I'll tell you what, Ryan, they are full of themselves. Every time we take a loss, they always like to ask, oh, are you all right? Are you doing okay? Are you on any kind of watch? And I'm like, no, man, it's life in the SEC, buddy. Sometimes the road teams can step up and get you, You got to be prepared to bring your best every week. And unlike Ohio State, who plays a pretty weak schedule, and this one guy, my buddy, he works in UPS. He thinks Ohio State's going to go out there and roll up on Oregon. And I told him he's been smoking something there because I don't see it. My nephew plays for Marshall, so I actually had I would say misfortune of going to that stadium here a few weeks ago. It was awful. They actually use porta johns in there, and all the money they make, they can't even get a flushing toilet in there. It does look like a big toilet bowl, though. But anyhow, my nephew's a kicker, Reese Veerhoff, for the Marshall Thundering Herd, and we went in there and got to watch them. And they didn't look all that impressive to me. Ohio State did. They have the athletes, so they got a pretty decent offense, but their defense, it's not all it's living up to be. I don't think that they think it is. And I think Oregon, back to my point, it's going to be like a basketball score. I feel like it's going to be a high scoring game, and I think Oregon can take them.
Well, man, that is.
Hey,
I'll take that. I'll take that right now.
Heck yeah.
So, I'm right there with you, man. I'd love to see Oregon, and I like what Dan Lanning has been able to do out in Oregon. I mean, he's a pretty solid football coach. Dan Lanning was probably, if Kalen DeBoer would have said no, he might have been on the list. He might have been a guy that,
I agree.
Yeah, they would have kept an eye on him. I mean, now let's also be honest with ourselves. Phil Knight and Nike has been a big part of their success, and I think probably will continue to be. I mean, they can offer them unlimited NIL.
Yes,
yeah.
They do. Uncle Phil's got deep pockets. I heard that's what they like to call him over there, Uncle Phil. And he's definitely got them deep pockets.
Well, I'll tell you what, I keep playing the Mega Millions, and if my numbers ever come up, maybe I can get a little slush fund going here in Tuscaloosa. I don't know if that's ethical.
Oh, that'd be mighty nice.
NIL, I can. Let's go buy it.
Yeah, we can work out something.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I can have a lot of access then. But hey, Corey, what kind of score you got for me, man?
All right, because we're playing old South Carolina this weekend. I think we'll bounce back. I think it's going to be probably 36-20 in that range.
Okay, 36-20. Jalen Milroe passing yards.
Passing yards, okay. I think old Jalen is going to throw for 325 yards.
325. Corey, it's good to hear your voice, man. Thank you again for being a part of our show. And please send me a Twitter DM because, like I said, I've lost it. And I went all the way back through my DMs. I was like, I know I had that guy's contact, and I've just lost it. So send me a message. And if you can't get on Twitter, send me on Facebook. I'd love to reconnect with you, man. It's good to hear your voice.
Absolutely, Ryan. Roll Tide, buddy.
Roll Tide. Roll Tide. Corey in Ohio up in enemy territory. Appreciate him. It's kind of fun. I like how's it made. I don't know, Jackson, if you're into that, like how's things are produced. Like to go to the Wilson football, I don't know why I'm going to be in Ohio, but like to go to, to see how products are made, whether it's footballs or, I know Mercedes-Benz is right up the road. You got a Toyota plant over in Tupelo. I mean,
I like the Golden Flake factory too.
Where is that at? Birmingham?
Yeah, Birmingham. Bud's Best Cookies.
Okay.
I like going to see how things are made.
I don't know why that's intriguing to me, but I would enjoy watching things get manufactured.
I'd like to see how they manufacture the NFL scripts too.
Yeah, and after I took the anti-UAW stance, you think Mercedes would invite me to come up and take a little tour? I mean, I fought for it for about a month and a half here and took a lot of heat. So maybe they could invite me up and, go out on the racetrack and see what I can do. I mean,
4th and the 5th.
I'm not dragging anybody in politics that doesn't want to go into politics. I go to politics, and that's okay. That's okay. I mean, I'm actually not ashamed of who I am. Not you. I'm not saying, but there's a lot of people that, I'm not. It's who I am. Take it, leave it. If you're looking for an alternative view, there's probably a bunch of them out there. I'm not probably one of those that slants to the left, okay? Moral compass is still there. That's who I am. And hey, I hope it's the way that I am 40 years from now if I'm still on this earth. Let's continue. And let's go. Oh. Thank you, Jackson. Thank you, Jackson. Give me the look. Blue Spring Living Water presents our injury report. Blue Spring Living Water. Why don't we let Kalen DeBoer provide the injury report, and then we'll talk about Blue Spring Living Water because, hey, we care about your health. Certainly, we're going to keep the health up to date with the Crimson Tide. Blue Spring Living Water Numa, which is the oxygenated water that takes that Blue Spring Living Water, and you can find that a couple different places. Numa can also be purchased on bluespringlivingwater.com, and we're also going to add a 12-pack. That sounds kind of weird. A 12-pack of water.
Bama Nick, don't get too excited yet.
Numa, the oxygenated water, the purest spring water in the country. Groundbreaking nanotechnology. Okay, here we go. And I've had the Numa water. I've been drinking it for a few months. Not saying that's everything it's helped me, but it's, hey, listen, I know the waterway delivers our water, and that Blue Spring Living Water has forced us, right? Because it's so convenient. I need to bring you some. Let you try it out. I gave my brother a couple of glasses. We were down at the beach, and I mean, this is how much we need to do a better job of communication. I'm down at the beach. I sent him a couple of photos, and he goes, "Where are you guys at?" I'm at the beach too. Little did we have any clue that my older brother was down there as well. So we ended up, and I gave him a couple of Blue Spring Living Water, and he actually lives up in Blount County. So he drives back and forth to downtown Birmingham, and I said, "Man, you got to try this," and he did. He did. It literally, I promise you. Once I get you, see, I know because if I send you a 12-pack because you've won the trivia, you won't buy any the other water anymore because it's that good. Let's go to Kalen DeBoer providing an injury report as we look at Kobe Prentice and Kendrick Law, and then we'll get into another conversation. This is that conversation with Kalen DeBoer early today on the SEC teleconference.
Hey, Kalen, hope you're doing well. What's the status update of Kobe Prentice and Kendrick Law?
Yeah, you bet. Hey, Kennington. Both of them out here going through workouts, on track like we thought they should be, making progress towards the weekend. Wouldn't say that they're full go yet, but they're on pace we had hoped. So getting some work in, some individual and some teamwork there too. So it's progressing along, and they're doing a good job.
Yeah, hey coach, hope you can hear me. I'm in the indoor facility. Another update question: just do you have the latest on Yanze Pierre?
Yes, Yanze will not be with us this weekend, just with his injury. I'm glad you brought that up. Haven't addressed that. I actually didn't know the information until really later yesterday afternoon on exactly where that stood. So expecting him to be out for this weekend. But we'll see after that.
Next, we'll go to Steve Moulton of WZZN.
All right, so we'll stop there. That is SEC teleconference earlier. That is Kalen DeBoer providing an injury report. Remember now, we've got the Kalen DeBoer show coming up later this evening, coming up at 7 o'clock. DC, you want to rant about Vanderbilt? I mean, I see you walking into the studio. I mean, you want to rant? I mean, you got to rant about Vanderbilt? I mean, we don't ever get you 95.3 the Bear folks over here. I mean, I saw you walk in the studio. You got to, I mean, I've been the little pin bag or whatever you want to call it. You got a rant? You want to go on a rant? Go ahead.
Please. Yes, I would love to rant.
Hold on. Before I must caution you.
Uh-oh.
Fox Sports has asked us any audio. So if you do go on a rant, we could send it to Fox Sports and you could be on Big Noon Saturday. So,
wow.
I mean, you got a rant? Go for it.
Yeah, I do have a rant. This fan base drives me crazy. And listen,
now you're part of this fan base, so I mean, don't go too crazy on them now.
Yeah, I guess so. But glad you brought that up. What can you can't let an outsider come in and say, like, you wouldn't let somebody come in and talk about your family, right?
Sure.
That's an outsider.
Okay.
But we can critique our family, only us, right?
Right.
So,
only us, yeah. That's why we have this filter in radio. Any bugs, which we call Auburn fans bugs, we don't let them. I mean, when they hit the app, it just doesn't work. It's like, what?
A lot of our fan base is spoiled, annoying, and quite frankly comes off stupid.
Entitled,
yes. Look, every other university in the country would give their you-know-what to have what we have.
We do, yeah.
And we just consistently act like it's never enough. It's never good enough. At some point, it's got to be good enough. It's got to be like, all right, not that you ever get satisfied. That's not what I mean. But like, going off on his protruding nipples, Kalen DeBoer, saying that's the reason why we lost the ball game.
It is.
His protruding.
It was a distraction. I mean, the hard nipples were. It caused a couple of missed tackles. I mean,
look.
Red lights were on. They were blinding.
If that's true, that protruding nipples cause a team to lose, Ole Miss would never win a game. So.
Okay. So 7 stages of grief: shock, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, reconstruction, acceptance. Where are you? shock, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, reconstruction, or acceptance. Where are you?
Reconstruction.
Okay.
Yeah, I've gone through everything else. So
Okay.
maybe that's why I'm in such a positive,
Well, we got there on Monday afternoon, and yesterday we went back to anger. Like they were yelling at me yesterday. So yeah.
What made you mad yesterday? Exactly.
No, just had to relive the Vanderbilt.
just
we
reliving, yeah.
we were there, and then we went back. So,
yeah. Well, do I wish that things were different? Yes, but I also know that you got to let people be who they are. This coach is not a slouch. He didn't come from, like a coordinator position, and he's never been the head guy. He knows what he's doing. Let him do his thing here. These players clearly have bought in. You're never going to go undefeated again. That's never going to happen with the majority of champions.
The new college football.
Not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, all right, so final question. Our Cowboys got a good win, though. Roll Tide.
Thank God somebody won this weekend that I like. Yes, Dallas finally did it.
Pittsburgh, take that.
Now, I think it's pretty clear. I know you agree. We're going to the Super Bowl.
Oh, no, Super Bowl bound, baby. And it starts with Detroit this weekend, right? Yes, sir. Yes,
oh,
sir.
yeah. Yeah, we're in. I don't think we'll lose another game.
No. I agree. I agree. As long as we got that 65-yard kicker, we're good.
Right.
Mr. Brandon Aubrey, thank you.
That is the only player that we truly have is the kicker.
Yeah, I've got confidence in him. He
Is Jerry Jones still there?
Hush.
Oh, wait a minute.
Hush. Oh, now he went back to anger. Go ahead.
Is there any truth to this, or is it, I can never tell. There's so many dang sites out there, and you don't know which one's real. And this story about Jerry Jones and a conversation he had with Jalen Milroe, did you read that?
No.
Yeah, that he told Jalen at some event that it is true they would have been at together, that if he does a certain thing, they didn't reveal what it is, but something this year, that the Cowboys will draft him with their first-round pick. So
they're not gonna. I mean, they've already paid Dak way too much money. $60 million. They're not. All right.
Yeah, and Dak's going to win a Super Bowl this year. So what's it matter?
Yeah, and retire, right? And retire and go back to Starkville and coach the Dogs.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Done.
I mean, we're making up all kind of stories here. All right, let's continue, and we'll take more phone calls. 205-342-9904. Appreciate the comments. Let's go to Robert Brookwood. Robert, good afternoon. You're in the game. How are you, man?
Hey, brother, how are you?
I'm good, man. Roll Tide.
Before I make my comment, I thought I'd go ahead and give my score predictions. I thought.
Okay, yeah. Where are you at on the 7 stages of grief, too? I want to get that,
I'm on restoration. I think we're fine.
Okay.
Although I went through all 6 of them during the game, so I'm good now. I think 35-10.
Okay, 35-10. 35-10.
And 266 passing for Jalen.
266?
Yeah, I think we're going to run a little more.
Okay.
You remember Carolina's got a pretty good defense, so.
Okay. All right. I got you.
It was yesterday an early Halloween show?
Maybe. Why?
Well, we got Pat. God love him. I love his calls, but he also sounds just like that guy on Western.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we were blaming. Who was it? Who
Pat Buttram, Gene Autry's sidekick. I don't know. I couldn't understand his point. So that got me tickled. And then here come, I want to let you know, too, that is my voice bouncing off the wall on the and you're in? Does it sound like I'm in close?
No, you sound crystal clear to us.
Oh, well, I thought we needed to start sitting in the outhouse and making our phone call, answering your calls, because that seems to be the new thing.
No. I mean, you sound crystal clear. I mean, hey,
Jumbo was on a roll yesterday, baby.
Well, I mean, we were kind of a crappy, as far as crappy shows. So, I mean, might as well, maybe it just kind of had the feeling. You know what I mean? Just go to the bathroom.
Yeah, Jumbo said we all need to get insulation in our outhouses so that way we won't have an echo.
Hey, listen, man, when nature calls, you could be on hold or,
Right, you kicked me out about wreck. You said, is everything coming out?
He said, yeah.
I said, oh, my God. Thousands of people watching, and the caller sees Betsy's in the bathroom. Only on this show.
Only on this show. It's Hey, it just. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, listen. I'm just the facilitator here. It was a crappy day, okay, Robert? I mean,
I gotta go, Rob.
Thanks. Robert can't even talk. All right, DeAndre, get ready. We're coming to you, Ram. Red Wing, Georgia, Double H, Timberline, Laredo, and many more. 60 different brands of boots, all the work apparel that you need. People in West Alabama work extremely hard, and you can find that apparel right there on McFarland Boulevard. If you go by El Gran Patron and you're on the right-hand side of the road, if you pass by the blue plate, you have went too far. And you'll find it right there to our great friends. It is The Wharf since 1976. Let's continue with more of the show, and we go to Ram in McCalla. Ram, good afternoon. You're in the game. I hope all is well, man.
Oh, well, Ryan, you got me wanting Mexican.
Oh, well, hey, listen, man. El Gran Patron is a great little place right there on McFarland Boulevard. I'll send you there and tell them the game sent you. Go over and see Carlos and our good friends right there. Lunch and dinner options.
I was talking about the way you answered my call earlier.
Oh, I was just playing a little prank, man.
I know.
But I mean, I almost had you. Jackson was busy. He had to pull the Marty.
You had me.
You went to the
Cook,
bathroom.
line, and sleep.
You went to the bathroom. The pull. Now we're going to name that pull of the Marty. And and so Jackson.
Well, you
and
pull a Marty every break, then.
I do. Yeah, but I mean, we're not doing number. We're number one.
A little faster.
Yeah, a little faster. Little. It's. But Jackson was busy, had to go to the bathroom, and I figured I'd answer the phone. I figured I would help out and be a team player. So, yes, I do.
You did.
Yeah, and so I like to play pranks. I like to have a little fun.
At least he called you with the Taco Bell line, not the Kamala hotline.
Yeah, I do that one too. I do the Kamala hotline. What would you like for free?
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Yeah. What would you like for free? What would you like for free? You know, we're shipping out free products. So
I like the Taco Bell better.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Ryan, after listening to Josh, I don't feel like we're on life support anymore. And, I wasn't able to pick up like he analyzed it, how close we were. And after listening to him, we had just a couple of things and we'd have put it away.
Okay. Well, you're right. You're right. But at the end of the day, we didn't do that.
No, we didn't.
And we can learn, and we can battle against South Carolina. We can punch them in the mouth. I mean,
we are.
I mean, if we can't beat a women's basketball program, a good one, by the way. I mean, that's what their school's known for, right? I mean, it's not known for football.
Yeah.
Now, if they come down here and lay a spanking on us, we'll.
Did Miss Terry beat Dawn Staley's record for game day?
I don't know. She was 7-2. That's hard to beat.
Yeah, she was. Yeah. Well, Ryan, I think we'll get them pretty good, and I'm going with 38-17.
38-17, Jalen Milroe.
Ryan, I think he's going to have about 245.
I got you, man. Appreciate you, Ram, as always.
You too, Ryan. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, roll tide, roll tide. Hey, we've got a line available. We just removed Ram, and that gave us one line available. Let's continue. We'll go to Quick Dave. Quick Dave, good afternoon. You're in the game. I hope all is well.
Hey, Ryan. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good. I hope you are as well.
Can't complain. I was just wondering about the intern that was in, Tuscaloosa. He went to Vanderbilt. Nashville.
Marquise. Yeah, Marquise just got a heck of a...
Still there?
Yeah. No, we're here. We haven't left anywhere.
No, what I'm saying is the guy who was the intern down here, then he went to the radio station.
Yeah, Marquise Munson. Marquise Munson, my buddy.
Marquise. Yeah. Now, has he called? And he probably took a lot of flack this past week.
Yeah, I haven't talked with Marquise, but I know Marquise just got a heck of a promotion, so congrats to him. He's a buddy of mine.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Well, let's see. Now, I'll tell you what, it was in the 40s, it was in the 50s, and it doesn't matter. 38-17 was what I had on paper. I don't know what. I guess I will go, I'm going to go 55-13.
55-13. Jalen Milroe, total passing yards.
I think the young man's going to be hot as a firecracker. I'm going to go 325 yards.
Okay. 325. Hey, quick, Dave, I appreciate you, man. Roll Tide to you.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Let's go to DeAndre. DeAndre, good afternoon. You're in the game. I hope all is well.
Hey, man. How's it going?
Man, I'm having a good day. Good day. I mean, today's better than yesterday. Yesterday was better than Monday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Today's a better day. We 3 days, into the week. Looking forward to the South Carolina game, and you was asking callers pretty much where they are on the list.
Yeah, 7 stages of grief: shock, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, reconstruction, acceptance. Where is DeAndre?
DeAndre, I'm with the acceptance stage, man. I'm there only
you're
because
already at stage 7. Okay, I like this.
Yeah.
Move it on.
Yeah.
Move it on.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because hey, when you go back and you just watch that game, man, and then you look at some of the things that you've been saying all week. Some of the other callers have been saying what Martin's been saying. People that kind of analyze the game from a intelligent point of view. We wasn't too far from beating these guys. We did more self-destruction on ourselves than we did anything else, and those guys came ready to play. So it didn't mean that we have a bad football team. Some of these people been saying pretty much, when we beat Georgia, hey, we going all the way. We lose to Vanderbilt, then it's just to throw the whole season away. It's just kind of depressing sometimes when you hear fans talk like that, man. But at the same time, I get it, though, So I'm like, let's just move on and get ready for South Carolina. I think these guys feel bad. I think they know what they need to do. I think the coaches know what they need to do. Just like I don't know who that was you had earlier that was saying, was that an analyst, I guess, you had on that was saying pretty much just Caleb DeBoer is not like some scrub. This is actually a great coach.
No, that was my colleague here at Town Square. Stephen DC. That was DC. DC was he was walking in. He was over there talking to Jackson, and I said, you know what? Because DC and I are Cowboy guys. Aren't you a Cowboy guy? No, you're not a Dallas Cowboy guy. DeAndre.
Oh, no. I'm a Miami Dolphin fan, man.
Right. Well, bless your heart. Bless your heart.
Yeah, bless my heart right now, man. Yeah, I'm a Dolphin fan.
All right. Well, so anyway, DC and I talk a little Cowboys during the break. And, I'm just my job here is a facilitator of get it off your chest. You know what I mean? Just like, we don't want anybody to struggle with stress. And I was looking at DC, and he kind of looked like he wanted to say something. I was like, say it, man. Now he probably feels better. Now he can go over and he could spin the hits better on the music side of things because he got it off his chest. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for, man. I mean,
right. So hey, hopefully, man, that our season's not gone down the drain. Tua said he wants to come back and he wants to play. We hope that that's a great decision. I'm all for the kid just being healthy. I want the Dolphins to of course, have a good season. Now, mind you, you've seen 3 Super Bowls since I hadn't seen one as a Dolphin fan, but you've at least seen how many as a Cowboy fan? At least, 5?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We won 3 of those, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, I hadn't seen one. So, hopefully, before my lifetime is over, I can experience one. But, man.
What's the latest with Tua? I mean, because I know he's eligible to come off, in 2 weeks, week?
Yeah, because they don't count the bye week this week because, it actually has to be an actual football game. He will actually set out the game against the Colts. That's who we play off the bye week. And then, he's expected, I think, to return when we host the Cardinals down at Hard Rock Stadium. So he's supposed to be also following up with a expertise, the neurologist this week to kind of get us another opinion with the concussion to make sure that he's good to go there. So Coach McDaniel has said everything so far has been on the up and up. It's been real, pleasing. Nothing that discourages them to think that he can't come back. So hoping that he can come back by the end of the month.
Super cool. Well, good for his health. Good for his health. DeAndre, what you got for me score-wise?
Man, I want to go 49-14.
Okay. 49-14, and we're going Jalen Milroe total passing yards.
Let's go 265.
265. DeAndre, I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Man, good talking to you. Roll Tide, man.
Yeah, Roll Tide to you. Good to talk to you as well. We'll come back. We'll get to Mary coming up. J-Rob, I see. Welcome you right back into the game. T-Town tied at 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Let's go to Mary. Mary, good afternoon. You're in the game. I hope all is well.
Hey, Ryan. How are you doing?
Oh, it's good. Good.
Better than yesterday.
Yep, and better than Monday. So we're making some steps. Where are you on the 7 stages of grief?
Probably the 6th. I don't know.
Oh, okay. What now? Denial would be early. Got shock number 1.
I know.
Denial.
I said 6, but I'm still in denial that we lost to Vanderbilt.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to swallow. I mean, you're sitting there going, it's So, I don't know how to push you to.
Loss,
you got to go to anger before you go to bargaining.
Oh. I'll probably be in denial for a while.
But, I mean, a good win over South Carolina might help us move past these 7 stages a little faster.
Oh, it definitely would.
Smoke them. You know what I mean? I mean, just pound them.
Not if it's another poor performance on that defense.
Jackson, we're trying to look. See, he's still in denial, too. You hear him? You hear that voice?
Well, I never fully gave a rant, so I'm just going to add every rant little piece when I can.
Okay. All right. Mary, what you got for me?
I'm going to say 42-10 and 285 yards for Milroe. Passing.
Please say it again. I'm sorry. My bad.
42-10.
42-10, and then Jalen Milroe, what was it again?
285.
285.
Passing.
I just want to make sure. 285. 42-10, 285. Mary, I've got you. Anything else?
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Let's go to J-Rob, Montgomery, Alabama. J-Rob, good afternoon. You're in the game.
Good afternoon, Roll Tide. Ryan Fowler, how are you?
Roll Tide. Have you already sold your season tickets? You're mailing it on in?
Come on, man.
Okay.
You know better than that.
Okay, just making sure.
You kind of reeled me in, though, Ryan. You're talking about my Cowboys, and I was laughing so hard when you and DC talked about the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we're Super Bowl bound.
I almost fell on the floor.
We're Super Bowl bound, baby. We are Super Bowl bound.
I was just hoping that game would just make me feel better, make me lift my spirits up a little bit. And we won over a pitiful Pittsburgh team.
And we were the underdog too, by the way.
Yeah, we were. But it didn't help none. It didn't really help a lot. But I'm getting better. I've been through all the stages: anger, sadness, all the stages, whatever they are. I've been through them, so I'm good. I've got to just realize that this coach it's his first year here. It's a new system for everybody, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And we got whether we've been led to believe that they're the best thing since sliced bread or not. We got to realize that this is his first year, and we got to at least cut the defensive coordinator a little bit of slack for 1 year at least. Yeah, that team was not prepared though Saturday. It really wasn't. And then it looked like to me that team was not respecting the opponent. They did not. They just. I think they overlooked them. To tell you the truth. What do you think, Ryan?
I think they did. And you know what? This may actually help us going forward.
Well, if we had two games in a row like this,
you know what I mean? It reminds you anybody can beat you. Anybody. If Vanderbilt can beat you, anybody can beat you.
Well, that reminds me, that happens in the NFL. And that kind of leads a hint that, we might be getting more like the NFL with this new college football, NIL era and the transfer portal and all that. But hopefully they can do some things to get those things fixed before too long, because, we've heard rumors that wait 24 months or whatever. So let's just see what the 24 months brings. It's been a year since that statement was made, I think. So I guess we got another year. Is that what it was, Ryan?
A year to what now?
For things to get better.
No, this week, 1 week.
No. I'm talking about college football, the NIL.
No. J-Rob, it's only going to get worse. I mean, they're removing parameters.
So?
Yeah, I mean, they removed the national letter of intent today.
Well, I mean, they said give us 24 months and things would be better.
Yeah, come
on,
man.
Didn't you hear that?
Nah, come on. I mean, I don't. Yeah, no, I don't believe them. I mean, when you look at that bunch. And we did this back in the summer. What's worse, the NCAA or the United States government?
Oh, my Lord. I mean, that's a toss-up, man. That is a toss-up.
I mean, the inefficiency of the NCAA, they don't know what they're doing. And they're afraid to put any parameters up because of lawsuits.
You're right. I mean, well, after the Supreme Court did what they did to the NCAA, do you blame them?
No, 9-0. I mean, if I went up and I said, what's better? There's nothing they could agree on that would be 9-0, but they did, the NCAA. So, but where does
they don't agree on nothing?
No, not 9-0. I can promise you, there's not much coming out of the Supreme Court that's 9-0. They sent it back to the NCAA and said, "You're not above the law. You're not above the law."
What time to quit? They don't agree on nothing, and they agreed on that 9-0.
9-0. 9-0. And when you look at the world that we live in, I mean, think about it. You could paint up a crazy scenario that 4 or 5 years ago wouldn't even be believable. But let's just paint a crazy photo, okay? Let's say that Auburn fires Hugh Freeze. Hold on, people, hear me out. I'm not saying that he's going to be fired, but let's just paint a scenario. And let's say that Yellowwood down there, he's got to be touching 80, 85.
Yellow fella.
Yeah, yellow fella. What if he said, you know what, I'm going to go buy me a team. I'm going to put $50 million. I'm going to go get me a coach, and I want that coach to bring all of his players, wherever it is, because Auburn ain't got very many good players. So, but just pick a team. Says, I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to go get a coach, and I want him to bring his coaching staff, and by the way, I want him to bring his players. That's legal now in the world of college football.
It is.
And
it really isn't.
I mean, that's where we're at. And you have to wrap your head around it. This is it's worse than the NFL.
Yeah, because there's no rules. There's no guidelines to limit things. And, you got to have limitations to straighten things out. But I'm going to go ahead and give you my score because I know there's a bunch of folks trying to get it done today.
Okay.
So I'm going to say 52-17.
52-17. Jalen Milroe total passing yards.
276.
276. J-Rob, I appreciate you, man. Roll Tide. Go Cowboys.
Man, you take care of yourself. You're the best, man. Roll Tide.
Thank you. How about them Cowboys? Gator man, I see you. I'll go to you next. I don't want to talk to him. I'm not in the mood. Will I take him? I don't know. Next, maybe. We'll see. I mean, I got to be fair. I mean, he called in.
Hey, if you let Digger speak, you can let him speak. I don't think he'd
take you to the Triple Option podcast. By the way, the option got us, did it not? Mark Ingram was on there. Mark Ingram still dealing with the 7 stages of grief. This is our Heisman-winning running back and president of the Gump Nation. Okay, there is nobody as big of a fan as Mark Ingram. Okay, he is as Gump as you and I and everybody else. Mark Ingram on a Wednesday still dealing with losing to Vanderbilt.
It's actually quite comical. Like, you just go and just get smacked by Vandy. Like, is this even real life? Like, what's happening? We go on the road, we just can't do anything. Like, no matter how you slice this cake, it's atrocious. No matter how you slice the cake, it's atrocious. We don't lose to Vandy. You said 40 years? The last loss was 1984. The last loss before that was 69. The loss is just atrocious. Like, it's just unacceptable. Everyone knows that. You have a huge win versus Georgia, then you go on the road to Vandy off a huge momentum and just take an L and fall straight on your face like that. The defense is just completely just unprepared for this. Run it down your throat and make you like it. Come on now. They had 9 possessions. They only punted the ball twice. Bama's defense is in crisis mode right now. They're in crisis mode. The last six quarters, 67 points, 784 yards. Opponents are converting third downs at a 54% rate. They've allowed 10, 20-yard plays. Like, you thought that the second half of the Georgia thing might have just been Georgia, but no, that's like truly who the defense is right now. You don't lose to Vanderbilt. That's not what happens when you go to Bama. Like, when you wear that script A, like, you do not lose to Vanderbilt. There's a lot of other things that might happen, but you don't lose to Vanderbilt.
All right, Mark Ingram, president of the Gump Nation. Mark Ingram, Heisman winner. Do I have to?
Ryan Fowler.
Hello?
How you doing, Mr. Fowler? How you doing, Mr. Fowler?
We got a bad connection. Can I hear you okay?
Can you hear me now?
No.
Hold up, Ryan.
Yeah, must be a bad connection. Gator Man, are you there?
Ryan Fowler.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can't hear you.
Hold on a second. Oh, can you hear me now?
No, we can't hear you at all.
Wow. What in the world? Okay, how about now?
Oh, yes, perfect.
Ryan, let me tell you something.
Oh, there you went. You went away. You went away. Okay.
No. I have problems of my own.
You're okay.
I have problems of my own in Gainesville, baby. Hey,
can we cry on your shoulder? Will you let us?
No. Listen, I mean, it's coming to an end, buddy. But
what's coming to an end? What's coming to an end?
Well, I'll talk about that in a few minutes. Give me just a second. I have problems of my own. I'm waiting on the season to be over because he has a $26 million package. He's on his way out. We going all in on Lane Kiffin. If we don't get Lane Kiffin, we're gonna make another mistake and offer the job to Franklin up in Penn State. It's all over. It's all over the Florida Gator.
But I'm going to tell you, you're not going to like what I'm about to say. It's not a coaching problem that you have down there.
It's not. Listen, we have players.
It's not players. It's not players. You have an administration problem. You have an administration problem. You guys have went through too many coaches, man. Gator Man, until you get rid of all the, the old saying, I don't even know how to say it, but you might be able to say it. What do they say? Too many Chiefs and not enough Indians? Yeah, there you go.
Napier is terrible, man. I told my wife.
But you guys have went through quality football coaches, man.
Quality football coaches, Ryan, we are terrible because of our coaching this year. I just pray to God that DJ Lagway don't transfer. This guy is horrible. We were up 24-6 at halftime. I told my wife, I said, sweetheart, our offense, we're wide open right now. We're playing good defense. He's going to shut the offense down in the second half. We didn't score in the second half. Not because of production. It's just they knew that he was going to. He does it all the time. Our defense is not good enough to play the kind of offense that he's trying to do. But either way, the season's going to be over soon. We have the toughest schedule in football. There's no excuse. I mean, we don't do good anyway with Alabama and Nick Saban disciples. Period. We've had 3, and it's been terrible all 3 times. But anyway, you guys, that stuff that happened with Vandy, man. I mean, it's about to end. I told you at the beginning of the year, and I know you. I guess you made me a chicken bet. I can't remember. Whatever. I told you would not win that. You would not win the SEC title, let alone the SEC championship in the next 5 years. Those days are over. They are over, Ryan.
Gator
you
Man.
see how you guys. Listen. And they didn't. And I had something else to say until I heard the
Gator
ultimate
man,
guy,
that's just
Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram told you right then, you don't lose to Vandy. I love college football. Alabama has no excuse for losing to Vanderbilt in 40 years in Vandy. You don't lose to Vandy, Ryan. I mean, coaching or no coach, I can go out
Gator
there
man,
and coach that.
you've made a lot of stupid comments on this show. Okay,
I know, but I can go out there on the capstone
you compared
right now.
Dan Mullen to Nick Saban a couple of years ago.
Yeah, but can
Wouldn't you
explain
still
that
love
loss
to have
Vandy?
Dan Mullen now, huh?
Can you explain that loss to Vandy, Ryan?
We screwed up. We made
Just
mistakes.
explain the loss to Vandy.
We made mistakes.
Huh?
We made mistakes.
You make
okay?
mistakes, and then your player, your captain came unglued. I mean, he came unglued.
He was frustrated. I like it when it's important to people.
I heard Damian Harris on this podcast said if he was on their team and he came unglued like that, they would have whooped his foot.
Who would have?
Damian Harris said it on the podcast.
Oh yeah. We I don't know if he said whoop his butt, but he said we would have took care of it internally. But yeah, maybe that's whipping his butt. But
yeah. I mean, it's embarrassing right now. I mean, but it's always South Carolina. But but
you guys going to beat Tennessee this weekend?
I am not mad. No, we're gonna have a chance in the fourth quarter, but our coach he's not gonna allow us to win that game. He's not gonna Ryan. We will have a chance to win the game in the fourth quarter.
I mean, you guys did have a decent win against Central Florida. You guys were the underdog at home, so it was a win.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to tell you about my 5-team parlay. That's why I know the game.
5-team parlay.
Yeah. The NIL has changed college football. Period. I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anymore about, whatever it may be or whatever. I took Vandy plus 24. Okay.
That's a winner.
Okay. I took Texas A&M -2 against Missouri.
Boy, the Aggies are hot, aren't they?
Yeah. I took Florida plus 2 at home.
Okay, that's a winner. 3.
Okay. All right. And then I started off Friday night. I took California plus 14 against Miami.
Okay. Well, that was Saturday night. It was Saturday night, but go ahead.
No, actually, that was Saturday night. That's right. But I started off Friday night. But anyway, I hit a 5-team. Oregon. I took Michigan State plus the point, and they cover late. But anyway, it's all about the line now, Brian. They telling you the line and everything.
So how much? I mean, 5-team parlay pays pretty good. What did you? What'd you put down?
$20.
Ooh, Gator man, that's where we doing dinner at tonight?
Well, Ryan, I mean, we got to bet. You can do whatever you want to do, but we got to bet that that y'all gonna win the SEC, let alone that national championship.
Yeah, what do we do? A 20-piece? We did a 20-piece Church's Chicken.
20-piece.
Yeah.
Your coach would not be there in 3 years.
Yeah, Church's. I love Church's Chicken, man.
That guy looked miserable. Did he not look miserable the other day, man? I loved every bit of it, man. Ryan, I text you. I told you, I said, Ryan, I love college football.
You did.
But Vandy? Can you explain Vandy? And you said Roll Tide. So, I expect that. But, it's coming to an end, buddy. It's coming to an end. I told you, and I meant what I said. Those 9-win seasons, you're gonna enjoy them. If I can win 7 games this year, it would be awesome.
Isn't that crazy? That's sad. If
I win 7 games,
you were the team of the 90s. You won one national title in '96. Come on. Team of the 90s. Go on a dynasty, okay? Gator man. I know you guys claim it because, really, you guys prior to Steve Spurrier arriving there, you were kind of the Vanderbilt, right? You and him had something in common.
I got 2. I got 2 at Urban Meyer. I got 2 national championships in basketball.
Oh, no. So we've now worked to basketball? Okay.
We had the best, and then we won a national championship in baseball. We had the best sports program in the nation, Brian.
All right. Well, I got to run. You want to give me a score?
Alabama 38, South Carolina 10.
Oh, look at you. You do believe in Alabama.
I mean, y'all will win this week. Y'all will win this week, but you got to go on the hill, buddy. It's not going to be. You don't do good in Tennessee. You know what I mean? You don't do good in Tennessee.
Passing yards for Jalen Milroe.
They took the goalpost and put it in the Cumberland River, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Passing yard for Jalen Milroe, 322.
322. All right, Gator Man, be good to yourself.
Well, hold on, Gator Man. How do you feel about making the wrong coaching decision at the wrong time by firing Dan Mullen? I can tell you the whole SEC stood up and clapped, not because you fired him, but because you sent your program back into a free fall.
Dan Mullen?
Oh, yeah. He would be a way better coach for you right now than what you got.
Oh, man.
They went through coaches. It's not a coaching problem. I mean,
he took you to three straight New Year's Six Bowls and you got rid of him.
Since Urban Myers, Dan Mullen was by far the worst recruiter that we ever had. Napier, oh, my God. Napier's doing a pretty good job of recruiting. He just can't coach.
Right.
Dan Mullen,
Dan
Mullen was the worst recruiter by far since Urban Myers retired.
Well, we got to run, man. We appreciate it. I hope you have a good day, Gator Man.
Yeah.
Roll Tide. Chomp. Let's go to Jumbo. Jumbo, good afternoon. You're in the game.
You can't fix stupid, and that was stupid.
No, you can't fix stupid. I agree.
What an idiot. He's worse than an Auburn fan. Hey, over? What's over? We're still playing football. We're still winning. It ain't over. It ain't going to be over. I wouldn't even let that bum come back on this program. Sorry. I shouldn't have said that.
No, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
When it comes to Alabama, we can say what we want because we're fans. But when it comes to some other idiot coming on here, and that guy's he don't know what he's talking about half the time anyway. Dan Mullen's had Mississippi State at number 1 there for a while, even though we beat them. But Nick Saban run half the coaches out of the SEC, and Urban Meyer was one of them, if I'm correct. So I don't want to hear no crap from him.
Well,
everybody still fears up.
Urban was having chest pain. He wanted to go watch his daughter play volleyball, and Nick Saban put him into the chest pain area. So
yeah, and I'm having butt pains. I need to go to the crapper and take a dump. Give me a break.
And then Harbaugh gave him a headache.
Well, if he's thinking, and where's this crap saying Florida had the best sports program in the country? Are you freaking kidding me?
I thought that was Texas' job. I thought Digger kept telling that was Texas's. All these people counting these irrelevant sports, and I call them grandparent sports. You know why I call them grandparent sports? Because the grandparents are the only ones in the crowd. I mean, it's truth. It's grandparent sports. Look, there's my grandparents. Who else is it? No, nobody.
It's the same thing Auburn fans do. They love to tout that equestrian.
They are.
Yeah, but Auburn fans are the ones, when the season starts, they're flying their flags, they're talking crap. They're just like Hillcrest. They want to talk crap, and then when it comes down to it, they start getting beat, they hide. They take down all their flags, they're taking down all the magnets off their cars, and they're hiding. And then when they beat some rinky-dink cupcake, it's like, oh, we're back.
All right.
And Hillcrest beats County High, and County High sucks anyway. And it's like, oh, we're back. We're going to the playoffs. We're going to win this thing. Brent Jones, you're crazy.
Okay, but I mean, you're a County High guy, though, man. Don't be tapping out on your
County
team.
High sucks. County High sucks. And I'll say it now, and we've sucked for the last 10 years because there's no discipline. There's no coaching that stays. They always leave because they get over there and see what they're dealing with. And the players just don't put forth the effort. And that's part of coaching. There's no stability in that program at all. And until they get a coach that's going to come in there and roll up his sleeves, and he's going to stay there and stay at it and build that program back up like it was in the 70s.
It's his first year with Coach Holcomb. We'll see. I mean, you're being impatient.
No, sir, I'm not, because what's the longest a coach has stayed over there? What was it, 3 seasons? Everybody else has been 1 or 2 seasons.
Recent memory, but County High's got one of the richest traditions probably in the state.
Well, we got something Hillcrest don't. We got a national champion or a state championship, and they don't. They don't. So, and it took a County High man to go to Hillcrest to show them how to beat County High, and that was Bart Harper. So I don't. That's the same thing as Dabo Swinney at Clemson and
So
Kirby over Georgia.
Jumbo, okay, let's go away from high school football for just a minute. Where are you on the 7 stages of grief? Shock, denial, anger?
I'm over. We got the Cox this weekend. That's all I'm worried about.
Who do we have?
Vandy was a fluke. That's all it was to it. We lost to a crappy team, the worst program in the SEC. I'm done. I'm over it. I said my say Monday. I hope the defense heard it, and if I ever come across them, I'll be more than happy to share that with them again. But I'm over it. We got 7 more games to play. We can still finish out 11-1. Still go to the SEC championship game. I'm not giving up just because of one game. I was pissed off, but I'm not giving up.
Jumbo, I got a problem, man.
Uh-oh.
I need you to take care of it, okay?
All right. Talk to me.
Digger's on the phone. Will you talk to Digger? Because I'm not in the mood.
I don't want to talk to some jerk from Texas who thinks that lives in Louisiana that's a Texas fan. That's the same as Gator boy there who's from Ohio and he's down here in Alabama and he's a Florida fan. It don't make sense. I got nothing to say to Digger. If I want to say something to Digger, let's do it face to face. So that way I can look him straight in the eye, and when I get through, I can punch him front of the board lights out. I don't want to talk to that fool. I'm sorry. I don't.
You don't? Okay. All right. Well, I don't want
you. I don't want to talk to Gatorman either because I don't talk to stupid. You can't fix stupid, and that's 2 stupids. You get another stupid from somewhere else, and you got 3 stooges stupid.
That's fair. All right, Jumbo. Well, I can't filibuster any longer. You already got your score in. Did you get your score in?
No, my blood pressure's up right now, so I got pissed off. No, I'm not going to do one. I don't really care. I'll let somebody else get in there. But thanks for taking my call, and I'm over this thing. We're done.
You're still you're still in denial. You haven't moved.
No. We've got other fish to fry.
No.
And what? Oh, and what? Let me say
Jumbo. You're not going to pick a score. You're in denial.
Okay, I'll pick a score again if it'll make you happy. What do you want to hear? Let's see. Alabama 43, South Carolina 16.
43-16.
212 passing yards.
Okay, I got you.
And let me say something to that Bama Nick guy over in Georgia. Let me tell you something, brother. I've been coming over here for 4 years or more saying 1 week at a time. 1 week at a time. I generated that, not you. So why don't you go sit at your kitchen table, drink another half a case of beer, and then come back on here and say something else stupid. That pissed me off when you done it yesterday.
Yeah, Bama Nick.
You took that from me. You took that from me. Just like Kamalama Ding Dong takes everything from Donald Trump. Don't take stuff from me. That was Kamalama Ding Dong.
Hey, she said yesterday she wouldn't do anything different than that'd be like us playing Vanderbilt and saying we wouldn't do anything different. We wouldn't do anything different, man. I mean.
Well, let me ask you this, and then I'll hang up. If we played them 3 more times right now, who would win all 3 games?
Yeah, I don't know, Jumbo. I would say Alabama, but I mean,
I got to come. Me and you got to have a face to face. We got to have a come to Jesus.
Maybe I'm still in denial. I don't know.
You might be, brother. Go home and drink some Kool-Aid, man. I'm telling you.
All right.
Get that candy-colored Kool-Aid. Drink it, bro.
All right, Jumbo and
crap. Friday at 4:30, Buffalo Wild Wings. If anybody wants to come out, we're going to meet over there with Josh and a couple.
Just keep rubbing it in. Keep rubbing it in. I mean, I know you guys picked the time 4:30. You found out I was working and said, "Yeah, I got you. Go ahead.
Ryan, what did I say yesterday? I went to bat for you, and I said, "Look, Ryan has got tons of other commitments. Even when he gets off, he's still working. So I took up for you. You got a job to still do.
4:30. Yeah.
But you want to change the time? We can do it. Can you make it?
No.
I'm sure Josh will mind.
All right. My feelings are hurt. I'm in denial.
No, it ain't that. It's just that I know you got a job and you got we got the game here in town this week.
All right.
So you got commitments, and that wasn't nothing against you, but
okay.
If you want to do some show for Buffalo Wild Wings, come on, brother. We'll have fun.
Tell them to pay me. I'll come over. But
yeah, hey, all right, we can do that.
All right, Jumbo, be good, man. Thanks.
All right, man. Y'all take care.
Jumbo's moved to the anger stage, possibly. He may no longer be denied. You could tell he was having to deal with anger. Southern Ale House. This evening's specials include smoked pork chop, the Baja shrimp tacos, fried redfish over Cajun crawfish Alfredo. Right back into the game. Northport Power Equipment, Bryant and Keith Ellis. You talk about those leaves are falling, right? You go out, you do the backpack blower, the handheld blower. You do it 15, 20 minutes later. Leaves are at time, and also you got green fields all over. You got to clean up. The pole saws, the Crest outdoor power tools, the Husqvarna battery-operated tools. I upgraded a trimmer the other day. New and light. Those things just keep getting better and better and better and better. The battery-operated tools and also the Skag commercial mowers, residential mowers, Husqvarna residential and commercial. 2 blocks east of the Northport Civic Center. Bryant and Keith Ellis, end of the season savings. Also ask about some of the great interest financing options that you have. Northport Power Equipment. Bryant and Keith Ellis, Mr. Ellis. Let's continue. Hey, Digger. Good afternoon, Digger. You're in the game.
Hey, Brian.
How are you, man?
Ouch. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling great, man. Yeah, it's a good day. Good day. It's beautiful outside. Football weather in the evening, getting down to the 50s. No complaints here. How's the swimming and diving team?
Swimming and diving doing just great. So is volleyball, and so is our Directors Cup, which makes us the best athletic department in the nation. Gator Man's kind of confused. I know he's got something that Texas doesn't have.
Oh.
That's a triple crown and the 3 natties in the sport. Football, baseball, and basketball. Nobody can claim that pretty much, except for USC and a couple of other ones. But we're trying to get there. We got to win the basketball to get our triple crown. And what's even more impressive is that Florida did all this in the 2000s. You know, and I know you don't like Florida, but you got to admit, Foley, I can't stand him either. When he was athletic director in Florida, he had that program going. So
he may be still the problem. He could be still the problem. And there's too many. Those leaders don't go away. They just stay in that building down there.
Oh yeah, they hang around, and
it's kind of like Spurrier. I mean, could you imagine someone leaving like Mack Brown? Okay, Mack Brown left Texas, or you guys fired him, or whatever. Could you imagine Mack Brown getting fired at UNC and then ended up back in Texas in the same building?
Listen, we had no problem with him hanging around a year after he got fired because he was raising some serious cash. He was paid $500,000 a year to fundraise, and he raised millions. He was worth every penny. And I got to tell you, I wouldn't mind Mack Brown coming back if he could raise some cash for us.
Y'all having cash problems out in Texas?
No. But it's, you got to keep the spigot open. You got to find a way. And look, that dude could sell snow to an Eskimo. So, yeah, you want somebody like him. So, and again, he's having his issues at UNC. So, the point I'm trying to make about Vanderbilt here, this is a bottom dwelling.
Not exactly the truth.
Sucking.
Auburn, Mississippi State, and Kentucky, even South Carolina have worse record right now than Vanderbilt.
Who was picked to be last back in the fall? It was Vanderbilt.
Wait, does that really matter, though? I mean,
I'm just saying, this is a program killer, man. You guys better find a way to get around this thing, wrap your head around it. I'm going to say something. You might need to bring this to your wife because she'll understand what I'm saying. If you're not honest with yourself, you're powerless to move on to the next level or change whatever you want to change. Okay? You got to be honest with yourself. Take that to your wife, and she'll explain that to you. Otherwise, when you get all these idiot callers, let them take it to their psychotherapist, like Jumbo. Okay.
Did she work with you today? Is that what it is?
Who?
My wife. You brought up my wife as.
No. I'm bringing up your wife because I know she's a psychologist. And
well, you need help. I mean, I can get you an appointment.
She had to talk you off the ledge after Saturday.
I can get you an appointment. I can work you in. I'll even pick up the copay.
No. I want to get back to Jumbo. He's the idiot, along with Marty and Bubba, that said that Alabama was going to go undefeated and win the national championship. How stupid do you look now, Jumbo? You're running your mouth about me, but then you make claims like that. Okay? I got one more question about Jumbo. Did he ever give this Top Gun hat to the coach? There was talk about going to meet him face-to-face, give him a Top Gun hat, and I hope he hasn't done that because he's not supposed to do it. He's an E6, petty officer, first class. It's honored to get it from an admiral or somebody of a ranking order, but an E6? Jumbo, don't do it. It's going to make you look stupid, okay? And I'm not trying to knock on you about your military service or anything, but don't be a clown and start handing out Top Gun hats to everybody. It doesn't reflect on the Navy, okay? So, that's all I'm saying. All I'm saying. So, listen, real quick. Pray for me. It's Texas-Oklahoma this week.
Okay.
Okay. We were supposed to kick their ass last year, and it didn't happen. So, I'm telling you, these things are real. You have to get up for these games, or you're going to lose. Okay? So, yeah, look, and I'm telling you, they're not supposed to have a fighting chance against Texas. Okay? I'm taking them off the betting line because this is a rivalry. They hate each other. These players know each other because they all played in the state of Texas, and they know what it means to beat Texas or to beat Oklahoma. Okay? And there is no way you're going to get me to take Texas minus 15, okay? Because it was supposed to happen last year, and it didn't, okay? And that is the story behind Oklahoma. They'll wreck with your schedule if you're not careful. So you might want to record that. I very seldom give Oklahoma credit. But you got to admit,
sound like you're scared.
Every now and then.
Sound like you're scared.
Damn right I am. All you got to do is look like last year. We were supposed to beat them by 20, and we got knocked out. So, yeah, you got to show up for this game. Okay? Kind of like Alabama. You got to show up, buddy. That's all. That's all. Just letting you know. And, look, stop taking calls from Marty. He's wandering around. He's in denial, too. He says he's talking to people in Arkansas, and he's getting a lot of grief over there. They don't care. They really don't care about Alabama because they're not in a good space either. So, yeah.
Okay. Now, you just don't go hiding if you guys lose to Oklahoma this week and Georgia next week, okay?
If we lose, I'm going to call you.
Don't go hiding now.
I'm going to say,
don't go hiding.
I told you so.
Yeah, don't go hiding.
If we lose, I'm calling back to say I told you so. You have to get up for this game. If we win, I will be very happy. So, yeah. But the one I want is Georgia. You're right. I'm waiting on that game.
All right, Digger. It's such a
Enjoy your week. Bye.
Thank you. Let's go to Damon, Arkansas. Damon, good afternoon. You're in the game.
Ryan, is the FBI not calling you right now about this guy, Digger?
They're always keeping an eye on Digger from Louisiana. Yeah, he's on the list.
I mean, because the way I look at it, man, he wears Birkenstock sandals with knee-high tube socks and orange and follows the ice cream truck around. Okay?
That's an awful look. Yep, I agree.
Very awful look, Ryan. Hey, man.
It can't be any uglier than that burnt orange that they wear.
Yeah, just lay off Marty a little bit, Digger. Just lay off Marty and all the people.
Marty, nature called, man. I
get it.
Yeah.
Hey, I got to apologize.
Okay. You're fine.
I called in Friday.
Yeah, you did.
I told you Tennessee was going to lose.
You did.
Auburn was going to lose.
You did.
And Alabama was going to win.
Yeah.
Man, I watched that game with my son. I told him, I was like, we're not going to lose this game. Come on. We're going to come back. Man, they made a liar out of me on that. But I'll tell you right now, not all hope is not lost on this deal, dude. We need dogs on this team. We need some dogs. We need guys that will hold people accountable on the field before it gets too late. We need guys to pull people over and get fired up about it. You know what I mean? We need to bring back the standard. I mean, not from Nick Saban. We're talking like before my time, Bear Bryant standard. We need that kind of stuff happening down here. And I think we're going to get it. I think we will.
All right. Well, that being said,
you think?
No, I think Alabama, this is going to be a very important game. Very important game.
This is, I
mean, if you lose this,
Monday,
if you happen to slip up, maybe it's going to be a long season. I don't think this Alabama team is going to respond that way. I think they're going to respond in a positive way, and I think you're going to walk away going, okay, they fixed some issues. I think they will.
I think what they're going to do is come out and hand it to South Carolina. That's what I think. That's what I've always thought.
Okay.
About after a loss. I think they'll come out and do the thing they need to do.
All right.
I think they've heard all the outside noise. You know they do. These kids now, they hear everything, dude. Don't kid yourself. They hear it all. They hear it all from the polo shirt to whatever everybody's talking about. Don't give up on them now, because I believe we're going to come out smoking.
Oh,
that's what I
hate
believe.
to break some bad news, but Digger just called back and wanted to let you know, Damon, that he wanted to tell you, and some expletives in there, that he doesn't wear Birkenstocks.
Oh, well, good for
He
him.
wears gator skin boots.
I would say he's a probably sweaty croc guy.
Yeah, well, gator skin, you got to wear Cayman crocodile, man, not gator.
Yeah, that's that
Come
cheap
on.
stuff. That's that cheap stuff.
Yeah, you bet.
All right, Damon, give me a score real quick. Alabama, Arkansas. I'm sorry. You're in Arkansas. Yeah, look, you got me so confused. Alabama, South Carolina.
I'm sorry, Ryan. I'm sorry. I'm throwing
You're okay.
everything
You're
out
okay.
of
You're okay. It's my fault.
Alabama, South Carolina?
Alabama, South Carolina. Not women's
I'm
basketball.
going 45-10 Alabama.
45-10 Alabama. Jalen Milroe, total passing yards.
I'm going 330, Ryan.
All right, 330. I got it, man. I appreciate you, Damon.
Don't give my apologize to Digger. Just have him keep on me. Have him call me. I'll give you my phone. One thing I got to say, I'm coming down for the Missouri game.
Okay.
And if anybody that
nobody's
calls
ever met
in-
Digger. We don't even know if Digger is even real.
Oh, yeah, you know.
It could
Nobody
be
cares
AI.
about Digger, right? Call your own dadgum team.
Think about AI, or not AI, but you think about him listening to a sports talk radio station in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and he's a Longhorn guy.
Well, he's just like all the Longhorns, man.
We call that the Shorthorns. You know, that's
exactly. Yeah, whatever. But he needs something to make him feel good, right? He can't call Austin. I mean, that's like the armpit of the world.
It's the liberal. It's the liberal hellhole.
Yeah, it's liberalism everywhere down there. So hey, you ain't got that. You may have Louisiana, but I don't know what's good about that either.
Yeah, and they're so poor down there they can't even pay attention.
I know, but what I'm saying is I'm coming down from the Missouri game. I'd like to meet some people that call in because, I mean, I've been listening to your show for years, dude. Called in a few times. I'm going to call in more now.
Well, I mean, Damon, I'll be honest with you, man. I mean, they're doing a get-together for this weekend, and they did it right in the middle of the show. I think, I'm kind of figuring out that's probably planned, to be honest with you. So,
well, the Missouri game, I'll call in on that week, and maybe I can meet, I like Tommy from Romulus. Paul from Lincoln, everybody that calls in. I'd like to meet, put a face to people every now and then. Kind of like Blueberry Steve did. He's from Canada.
Yeah, he's coming. I believe he's coming down that Missouri game. I think it's a Missouri game.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'd like to meet him, too. Great caller. Great
Damon,
caller.
I got to run the break, man. I appreciate you. Roll Tide.
All right. Thank you. Roll Tide.
Damon, Arkansas. Great call, man. Appreciate you. Let's go to Stephen in Raleigh, North Carolina. We'll do that coming up in a couple of minutes. We'll take the final couple of calls on a score prediction day. I do remind you about the pharmacy at Midtown, the pharmacy at Midtown. T.J. Thomas. He's the Nick Saban of pharmacists. He's the Kalen DeBoer of pharmacists, right? It is T.J. Thomas, the pharmacy in Midtown. If your pharmacist doesn't have an Alabama shirt on, you don't want him. The pharmacy at Midtown, T.J. Thomas. We'll go to break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the loose ends. We have time for probably 3 more